Dun, dun, dun. 30-second countdown is up. What's up, y'all? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Sorry, I'm still adjusting my stuff here. Welcome to Free Thinkers. Notice the shirt. Well, notice the shirt. Sometimes people are like, why don't you get a new one? I love the original hoodie. I love green. And this is like, this is the OG. This is first edition. Like, there will never be
First
any other
edition.
hoodie doper than our very first
Well,
hoodie.
that's not fair because we have not put a first edition out to the public. So our first edition has to be something that we actually allow to be sold.
I mean, yeah,
This is the
but
that's the pre-edition.
well, whatever
That's
it
the
is, it's the first
well,
set
it could be the
made.
original. So the first edition is the first line that we come out with,
It's our
so
first
that
line.
all of our other free thinkers will have the opportunity to grab it as well.
And I know
And
we've
they can
talked
say
about this, and we have talked about it, but it just, man, it
I'm
just
working. I'm working on it right now. I got some meetings coming up in a week or two.
life is what life is. But I will never not rock this green hoodie. I don't care if it's 10 years from now. If this hoodie still fits my body and it's in one place,
Oh yeah.
you are always going to see me in my tight green hoodie. I love my green hoodie. So
That's what I say. I got a FUBU. I got a FUBU hoodie that is like 22 years old.
yeah,
Yes, it's like 2000, 2001 or something like that.
I do too. We have a blue one with a big old face of oh, whose face is on it? I can't think of which one of them's face. It's a fat. We have the Fat Albert collection.
Oh, you had the platinum FUBU.
I remember we got that. We got that Louisiana. We got a whole. Everybody got wardrobes. One Christmas we were down in Louisiana, and you go to one of the little corner stores, and there's everything but convenience store items. So we loaded up on FUBU Fat Albert gear, and I don't know if it's real FUBU or not, but this shit is about 24 years old at this point now. 23 years old at this point now. I still got it. I don't know if this will hold up for 23 years because I wear this a lot, but you're going to see me in the green all the time. Always going to be green. But nonetheless, welcome to Free Thinkers. We had a cool conversation tonight. We actually are going to pick up a few things off of the Facebook group page, and we're going to talk about it. So another pick a post. But there's a lot of great posts up there right now. A lot of good conversations happening. So if you have not been over to the Facebook Free Thinkers group page, definitely go over there and see what we got going on. And that's what we're going to do tonight is pull stuff off of there, and we'll talk about it. So it doesn't always have to be current things that are on the page. If it's something that you saw weeks or months ago, or at some point, in the past, and you're like, man, nobody ever talked about this one. We kind of talked about me and Q today. There's a few posts that are on the page, and neither one of us really wanted to type a whole lot as a response to them, because they're like conversational type of posts. So sometimes we don't have a lot of activity on certain posts because we talk about them on here. Some things you just got to talk about. You can't type your emotions enough to where you can convey a proper response. So that's what pick a posts are for. Pick a posts are always great topic nights because there's no topic. It's just kind of like whatever. So that's what we're doing tonight.
Discussing the page, and it's another way that we discuss what's interesting to you.
Right.
So in most cases, it's posts that people post to the page because they want to get feedback and dialogue on it, and this is a way to we have the conversation in print in the group, and then we do it live here, so we can actually get our hands dirty. So with that being said, y'all make sure y'all jump in. Is the link listed?
Yes. Yep, link is where it's supposed to be, so y'all know where to find us. It's pinned at the very top of the Facebook Free Thinkers group page. Click on it; it'll pull you directly into us. If you want to, obviously, chat with us.
Some of this smoke, because I'm sure I have a feeling I will upset a lot of people. And
do you think so?
Maybe, probably.
Now I'm curious.
Nikki is boring now. Nikki always get pissed off at me, so that don't.
No, I don't.
We talk about the right thing. Yeah,
I don't. I don't even think I get too mad at people too often in conversations. I don't get mad about people's perspectives, but
that's the
I can be indifferent. I think
that's the unfortunate part. When you talk with someone too much, you you start having a basic understanding of the context of where a person
Right.
dulls down. We were much more heated years ago, and now we'd be like, "Yeah, I see where you," and you see where I'm coming from, but you also, since you know me to a certain degree, and I know you to a certain degree, I
Right.
know where you're coming from when you say it. So it's not as
wild and shit as it used to be.
I need some people who we can start some smoke with.
Right. I know and I'm curious to know where the hell's everybody been. I'm like, what? You know, this goes in cycles though, right? We'll go in cycles. There's people who are like super, super, super active and all over the place, and then something happens. And then people disappear. And then people come back and then they disappear. And they come back and they disappear. So, you know, me and Q been doing this for a long time.
But that's the other part. That's what I want to discourage people's mindset from. This is not the Q and Nikki show.
Right.
Although you may see us on here running. And then after people see us running, then they start thinking like, oh, okay, this is just how they do this. No. Get your ass on here,
please,
and have the conversation with us. And with that being said, we do appreciate all of the participation as far as the comments.
Oh, hell yeah.
A lot of people interact, via typing, but
yes,
yeah, we want you to get on live as well. It ain't nothing like getting on live.
Nothing.
Don't fall into the ways of the rest of the world where everything has to be Twitter fingers. Got to have live in person, or this is virtually in person conversations. It's nothing like it.
No, I mean, and we do appreciate the people that communicate with us and keep it going in the comment section, because we definitely need you too. But we do want to see some faces. We want to get some energy in here. It's cool that y'all like to listen to what me and Q have to say and how we debate each other and how we pull topics out. I realize that even though maybe you and I are like, we're just talking to each other, like other people enjoy hearing you and I talk to each other. They enjoy how we go back and forth, So I love that, people are still, enjoying that part of Free Thinkers, but this is a group. Like, we're used to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people in a conversation. So obviously we can do this, just Q and I, but we are inviting you to come on, man, and come live with us. If you haven't done it yet, shit, come on, let's go. Let's have a conversation. Get cute, fix yourself up. You ain't got to do much of shit. You don't even have to post it to your page if you don't want to. But
do you see me right now?
Come and talk to us.
Look. If I
just got home from the grocery store, flew up the stairs. That's why we're a little bit late. So thank y'all for hanging in there with us and hanging out with us tonight. We probably won't go as long as we did last week. But
I'm tired. I can hear it in my voice. My words are slurring. I can hear my words slurring in my voice, like I'm talking lazy.
They're slurring in my head. So if they come out that way, then I'm with you on his. However, I've got a couple posts in mind that are put on there, but I'm hoping that you pulled some that you saw, because
no, I'm gonna have to look on here while we're talking.
Shit. Because it was a little bit hectic up until the time I got home.
Well, I know the two that we said we were going to talk about. I mean,
yes. Well, I didn't know if you. And obviously, all the things we're going to talk about tonight, they are on the Facebook page. So the Facebook Free Thinkers page. So you can go pull up those posts. If there's videos attached and things like that, you can certainly pull up more information on some of the stuff we're going to talk about. If you're like, what in the hell are they talking about? There's always going to be context on the Facebook page. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get it started. Oh, of course, please hit the share button, share. And major fucking shout out to my friends last week. I noticed when we got off last week, there was like 7 people who shared the page. I was like, fucking love y'all. So totally appreciate people for hitting the share button. Even if you can't join us, we totally appreciate our friends supporting us. Literally hitting the share button is supporting us. That's all you got to do. So all you gotta fucking do. So we appreciate that. We've got a couple new followers over on the YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed over on our YouTube channel, please go subscribe over on the YouTube channel. We don't do a whole hell of a lot over there, but everything that we've shot since we started going live with Free Thinkers is over on the YouTube channel. So you could literally spend days hitting play.
Facebook shuts down the same way that MySpace did, then we're over on
YouTube. And hopefully
TikTok gonna take
hopefully
over
those remain.
Facebook and then it's shut down. Let me ask you a question. Were you on MySpace?
Yeah, hell yeah.
And it's like totally, you can't even get into MySpace anymore, right? It's just like
I
shut
haven't
down
tried, but
completely.
every once in a while you'll hear somebody who says that they like got into their old page or something. I don't know if that's true or not.
That's
I've
what I'm
never
wondering,
tried it.
like, because I'm thinking about like, the pictures and stuff I have. Like, would I even be able to retrieve those pictures if I don't have them anywhere else?
I mean, they said once you posted stuff to MySpace, that was MySpace property like forever. So as long as the page is still up, that shit should
I don't
still
know
be
if the
there.
page is still up anymore. That's what I'm saying. So some of that stuff, as much as you think things are going to be around forever, then it's just not a guarantee. Oh, and speaking of that, see, I get prophetic sometimes when it comes to social media.
Hmm.
You better start backing up, making sure that you backing up your pictures too.
That's true
Number
too.
one, make sure people use Google Cloud pictures a lot of time, but also you can't do it to all of them because I know people make 1,000 pictures a year, now. But things that's really important to you,
Print.
go to Walgreens, go to Walmart, get some hard copies of them.
Yep. Yep.
Get some hard copies of that
Yep.
stuff, and get hard copies, and then you also you can put them on disk, save them on a disk file to where you can. Once you put them on a disk file, you can go back and get them printed out later.
Yep. Yep.
Just listen. I
And
don't know
printing them
exactly
is
why I'm
really
telling you
not
this.
that expensive. People think it's like
No,
really I mean, you could get all kind of coupons too online, but like CVS and Walmart and Walgreens and like Target, I think even has like photo printing, or used to back in the day, but you can
yeah,
get
no, they
photo.
still do.
Do
I
they? Okay.
actually went back. I had an old camera where you put the film in there. I had this old Vivitar camera.
Yep. Yep.
It had to
Yep.
be like 15, 20 years old,
Damn.
and I still had it. I'm like, let me go take. And I took it to Walmart. They don't do it themselves anymore, but they'll send it off, and they
Okay.
bring it back, and yeah, they can get all your stuff. So I got a couple of disposable cameras that's
Wow.
disposable. You know how old that is. I'm like, let me
Yeah.
go check and see
Yep.
what's on here.
Yeah, I probably got a couple in my garage somewhere. Yeah, I'm with you on the printing off stuff. That's one of the things I didn't do enough. And over the years of just numerous external hard drives, and because the kid's dad was a photographer for a long time, and so we have an ungodly amount of pictures. And over the years, just hard drives crashing and external
Hmm.
hard drives, something going wrong with the connection. Like, we've lost a lot of fucking pictures. And I feel like there's a part of me that's always going to have an issue with knowing that those pictures are lost.
Yes.
Um, which is why it's important to very much be in the moment, but it is important to print those things off. Like, I
Hmm.
think, like, we grew up with pictures all over the house, and I don't have as many as my mom had growing up, but we got a lot of pictures around, and I got a lot of the kids' artwork hanging on my walls. Like, all of my artwork in the house is my kids' artwork. But printing off those pictures, man, especially if you have kids, and just leaving them accessible for them to look at, like old photo albums was for us. Like, Kasha still uses all her photo albums, and she'll, I'll go in her
Hmm.
room sometimes, and I'll see
Okay.
like some of the
Yeah.
photo albums of her baby book and shit on the bed, and I'm like, damn, man, those are talking about like almost 30-year-old pictures. That would be a great Christmas gift for anybody who's not sure what to get mom or girlfriend
Hmm.
or even boyfriend or dad. People who just enjoy pictures. Like, that might
Right.
be a great gift. Kasha, the kids got me last year for Mother's Day a blanket collage.
Yeah. See, yeah, it's a lot of creative stuff you could do with pictures now, especially
Yeah.
when they. Yep.
And I just hang it in my, I just hang it in, I have it hanging downstairs. So I don't use it as a blanket, but like when you walk in, you can
Right.
definitely see this wall of, oh, that's y'all. But pictures, I love pictures. I just captured memories. So I agree with you on that. Um, so back to our storing of information. So yeah, everything's over on the YouTube channel for now. We'll see how long it's there, but it's there for now. So pick a post. Pick a post is just where you go to the page, pick a post, and we're going to talk about it. So let's go with the one that we kind of talked about earlier. Because I didn't save anything. I didn't have time to like screen record anything. So unfortunately, I'm not the most prepared. But
I
which
didn't
one do you
either.
want to do first? The BBL one?
Yeah, we could do that one first.
Okay. Did you screen record, or did you record the video?
I did not. I ain't done
No,
that
yeah,
yet.
I didn't have time. Okay.
Uh, I gotta. How far down is this now? I gotta see when it.
It shouldn't be too far because just a little bit ago I bumped it back up.
Oh, well, maybe I went down too far. It's a really short post. Hold on.
Yeah, it's just the guy interviewing men.
Yes.
Asking about, whether they prefer a natural body woman or a woman with a BBL. Did you find it?
Now, first of all, yes.
Okay.
I don't. You know what? I think you have to save and put everything to StreamYard, but that's the part I don't like.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I don't know if you probably can't hear this. Let me see. Oops, hold on a second.
Natural body on the way. Do you think guys prefer natural bodies or BBLs? BBL bodies for sure. Niggas love that fake shit. You prefer natural bodies or BBL bodies? Natural body on the way. Do you think guys prefer natural bodies or BBLs? BBL bodies for sure.
Okay, so sounds like some editing going on for persuasion purposes.
Okay.
I have a feeling that everybody they interviewed did not say, like all of the men who they interviewed did not say natural.
Right. Okay.
You got to watch the editing.
Right.
Now, I'd also guess that 90% of the women probably said, yeah, BBLs. There's probably very few. If they interviewed 20 women, then probably 18 or 19 said, yeah, men prefer BBL.
I believe that. I would definitely believe that to be accurate.
So now when I went and let me say, this is what I put in the comment thread. The top 50 Instagram model earners would beg to differ. The poll taken in this video was incomplete. Let me tell you why I feel like, even though I think it's kind of staged or persuasive, the reason that even if it was presented this way, why it's incomplete is it's not giving all of the facts. When you say, do men prefer natural or BBL? And people say natural. Well, that's only if your natural body is attractive and curvy in the same ways that men look at BBL. So there are certain people who have natural fat asses, natural, big breasts, natural, right. Some people are naturally busty people.
Right.
Or so in those instances, if you say, well, you prefer natural or BBL, well, natural, assuming that their body meets my preference or criteria.
Right. Okay.
Now, if you say BBL or natural, and my girl, she flat as a board in the back and an A cup in the front, then I might say BBL. It's incomplete because it's not saying what does this natural look like that we're referring to
in comparison, because we know what BBL looks like.
Right.
So BBL has a distinctive image, right? But of course, natural
can mean anything. That's what
right.
I'm saying.
Could be naturally flat, could be naturally voluptuous. I get you.
So a naturally voluptuous, curvy woman, for men who like that type of thing,
right?
Yes, they would prefer natural over BBL because yeah, but if the person is lacking or doesn't have that curvy, voluptuous body that you're looking, then you'd be like, oh, well, babe, if you want to go ahead and put a little something back there and then put a little something up in the front, then yeah, go ahead and do it.
Right.
They'd encourage you to do that because what you currently have is not up to their standards.
But even then, okay, so as a man, right, and I'm just going to assume you've probably, had more boobs in your hands than I have. So as a man,
I can't speak for you, Nikki. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just going to promise you have.
Okay,
so as a man who has obviously had experience with a variety of different sizes and, just everything's right with female boobs, like as a man, would you prefer let's say a woman had a C cup, right? So she's got some decent sized boobs. She doesn't have an A cup. She's got some big old boobs. If you like big boobs, and hey, a C cup is nice. So let's say she's got a C cup versus a C cup on, you know, implants. Do you think that more men would prefer C cup natural or C cup implants?
See, again, incomplete.
Why?
All C cups are not created equal. You can line up 10 C cups all right next, and they can all, the way they sit up, the way they hang,
but they still feel different than a set of implants.
Correct. Now we do like the feeling, but now if you whatever, I'm gonna be rude today. If you know, if you got if you ain't got the elastic in your breast and they hanging down, you got some C's that's hanging down by your belt line, then that wouldn't be, that's not the most ideal for most men.
Right. So it's a very subjective question, obviously.
Absolutely. And it's like it's almost impossible to answer that question properly without giving specific examples. Now, if you put two women next to each other and said, do you prefer natural or BBL? And both of them are the same size, they both have similar curves. So yes, 90% of the men say I'm gonna prefer natural. It does feel different.
Right.
But if you put a BBL next to a A cup with, you know, nothing in the back for a person who likes that type of thing, then they're gonna go with the BBL.
Right.
It's like the question itself is not, it lacks too much information for there to be a valid response.
I can see that being said. What I thought was interesting was how many women assumed that men liked the BBL look and how many men said that they prefer the natural look. And
that's a lie too. They lying.
I feel like there's definitely a lie to that. I don't think that everybody who says that is lying. I don't. I think that there's a lot of men who just overall standards still prefer an absolutely natural woman. Whether she's flat chested or flat assed or no hip, like they would still prefer a woman to be natural over, you know, an enhanced woman. But the part that just, I don't know, the comment that I made on the post was that I shouldn't say most. I don't know what I said. Maybe I said many, or maybe I said a lot, or maybe I said some. I don't know. Some men would prefer to fuck a woman with a BBL, but they will marry the chick that is natural. You know, they don't want to marry the chick that's got all of the extra stuff added. They
marry the BBL.
They will marry a BBL, obviously. But when you see that most of them say that they don't want the BBL girl over the natural girl, yeah, so that's where the lie comes in.
You want to know how many dudes I've seen up in the strip club trying to wipe up people while they just working?
Period.
Like, they're just working, and you over here, you trying to put a ring on it in the first day.
Like, and it's like
dudes be lying.
I mean, and everybody's okay. I mean, and it's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a BBL. First of all, like, we're not dogging on anybody who chooses to get a BBL, and we're not dogging on natural women. We're not dogging on what a person's preference is. Like, we're not dogging on a perfect body versus an imperfect body, whatever that means in your head. Like, we're not dogging on anybody. It's all based on preferences, obviously, but it doesn't feel like for a natural woman, which I am, it doesn't feel like natural women are popular. And I've said this for years. And, you know, I feel like, well, you know, it's Smack used to say all the time, he's like, nah, he's like, y'all are making a comeback. He was like, men are getting tired of the robot woman, the sex doll looking woman, the drag queen looking woman, you know, like, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. If you look at these men's porn results and the women that they're following on social media, they are the glammed out, you know, BBL girls.
But let me tell you, this is the issue. All BBLs are not created equal.
No, they're not.
And a lot nowadays, the issue is these people are taking it way too far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To where it doesn't, and it's bad because look, God bless technology. If you was flat in the back and I'm because I'm an ass man. If you was flat in the back and you ain't had nothing, and now there's a remedy, the same way people could augment their breasts and stuff like that. Now you got something to feel, oh, wonderful, great for you. But now
go for it.
They've taken it too. It's bad for me to look at someone and not be attracted to them because they overdid it, and you look like somebody drew. Damn, that sound bad. You look like somebody drew a caricature You know, when they do, you know, people do little cartoon characters of you and they kind of exaggerate your features to make it seem cartoonish. You look like like somebody drew a cartoonish version of you. Like your body is so far out of proportion. It doesn't, it not only does it not look real, it just is not, it's
a
not
turn
attractive.
off.
Yes.
It's a turn off. Like,
yes.
You know, because I mean, I see the same woman that you see, right? So it's like you see, and you're like, God, she's fucking beautiful. Like her body is great. I mean, sculpted or not, like, damn, that's a beautiful woman. Versus, oh God, that's a lot. Like that's too much. Like there comes, I don't, and again, I guess maybe that's a preferential thing too, because there's obviously some people who love a huge, ridiculously overshot, you know, worked butt, where it's like, you know, that like is definitely a health issue when it's all said and done. Like I see some of these women on Instagram and I'm like, it's just so much. But obviously somebody has to like it or they wouldn't keep doing it. Somebody has, I mean, they're making a shit ton of money from people who are liking what they're doing to their bodies, or else they would have obviously stopped doing what they're doing. But it is a turnoff. As a woman, I see women like that, and I think it's a turnoff.
You got to understand the difference between real attraction and attention. There's certain things that you can do. So if I see one of these, you know, models with a nice BBL, this and this and that, and it will grab my attention.
Right.
But that doesn't mean it will sustain my attraction.
Right.
So, all right, whatever. I'm being rude today, so too bad.
It's not rude today. It's called honest.
And Mama don't watch this, okay? So, and so in certain instances, there's times where I would use the phraseology, and I'm being mannish. I look at someone and oh, you like, yes, she's cute, she's attractive, and I'll be like, yeah, that's somebody I probably want to knock them off 3-4 times before I'm tired of them. Because there's you got my attention, you got my attraction, and not only and even when I would say that, that's not even necessarily talking about BBL people. That can just be someone who's a beautiful person, real pretty, real nice, attractive, but I know that they are not my type of sustained attraction.
Right.
I like bigger women, and the older I get, the bigger I like them. So, so
you've been saying that for the longest too.
I know, and I give it. I'm like, yeah, keep on eating, keep eating. It's fine. We could. But there's women that I'll see beautiful, really. I mean, gorgeous, beautiful. But for me, I know, like, as gorgeous as you are, just from a physical body standpoint, I'd probably be tired of you after. Like, you wouldn't be able to sustain my satisfaction long term, because I like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna want something that's bigger.
You like what you like.
Right. Yeah, and then it's not, but it's not saying I don't. I like a lot of things, but there's certain things that I like long term, and there's certain things that I like to, you know, like, okay, well, when Denise came down here, I'll go to 6th Street once every couple of years. You're not gonna see me down there every week.
Right.
Like,
right.
It's not my cup of tea for me to be like, oh, did you have fun? Yeah, we had fun. We sat down, kicked it, talked it, almost had a little free thinker session, all that stuff.
Right.
Somebody be like, oh yeah, we need to come back next week. I'll be like, nah.
No, we good.
Not my thing. Like, you know, now other places may be my thing. Doing this is my thing. If you wanted me to talk about relationships every week, not my thing. So, but I do like talking about. So there's certain things that you like long term, and there's certain things that's like, I could dabble in it, but I know that this is something that won't hold my attention long term.
That's so true. I and it's interesting, right? Because I don't know, it's kind of going off topic, but like, I think it's okay to like approach new situations and people with that attitude. Like everybody might not be forever. Everybody isn't going to be forever. Everybody isn't somebody that you're going to be with. Everybody isn't somebody that you want to be with. Like maybe you're just intrigued by them for the moment. Like, and for me, like, as long as you're honest about that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, I think it's okay to approach people like that with that mentality versus the person who's trying to like husband and wife every fucking body. Like, no, you can't do that to everybody either. Like, I don't know, maybe that's where infidelity and shit like that comes along for some people. Is yeah, they were attractive to you for the temporary. You made a temporary person try to be permanent.
Yes.
And did not sustain.
And you need to know what your temporary attractions are.
Sure. Well. That's a good point.
Partying is a temporary attraction to me.
Right.
Some people can go live it up every day, every weekend. That's not me.
Fuck no.
There's certain things that I can do it sporadically, periodically, short period of time. But that ain't so anyway. What I full circle back to the whole BBLs. A lot of that stuff it's a short-term attraction thing, and it's almost like a curiosity. Like, ooh, man, oh my goodness. I wonder what it looked like when I'm hitting that from the back. I just wonder how it bounced off. Like that's what we thinking. But once you see, you're like, okay, cool.
It loses, I guess, depending on how you like it or not, it can lose its its appeal. Right. You either love it or you don't. One or the other, I guess. That's I don't know, just in relation, to the BBL thing, like you talked about, just how many women are going overboard with it. I don't shame any woman for doing what they do to their body, right? I think there does become a fine line where it's well beyond just some cosmetic things that I want to improve. Like, if I've been flat chested my whole life, I want to get some boobs, or, I haven't had a big old booty my whole life. I want to, put a little something in there, right? Like, and who's to say what one woman should or shouldn't do with their body? However, there is a fine line where it becomes too much. And with social media being the powerhouse it is today, as a woman, I don't feel like I'm insecure about most of who I am as a person. There's parts of my body I would love to go in and fucking change if I could go in with the pen and fix things, right? But I'm not going to do that because I know there's also things I need to do for myself to be able to possibly improve the way my body looks or look the way I might want it to look. So I'm not going to take the cheap route out, and that's just me. But as a natural woman, as a 45-year-old natural woman who's gone through all the cycles, I've delivered 3 children, I've breastfed 3 children, like all the things that a body can go through, I'm personally kind of turned off completely by the overdone woman. You don't look like that at all when you get out of the shower. You don't look like that at all when you wake up in the morning. You don't look like that at all when you get out of the swimming pool. Like, and they all are starting to look alike. The lips match everybody's, the eyes match everybody's, the contouring matches everybody. Like, I used to fucking hate when I would see dudes refer to women like that as like drag queens. I used to hate that. They used to bother me. But as time has gone on, that's what a lot of it looks like is drag queen makeup.
You know what? Just when I walk around in the makeup, that is a turn off for me personally.
It's not. I mean, you're beautiful, but you're not you. That's not even you.
You know what? I don't even know if I'm seeing you.
I don't even know what you fucking look like in real life.
So I'm like, you know what? In one of my groups, somebody made the suggestion, like, on a first date, everybody should
no makeup.
No makeup.
I got no that makeup. Down. Shit.
Man, you just wear your regular. Don't be putting Tim's on, trying to make yourself taller.
A little bit taller.
Do none of that. Just like no makeup. Let's see what we really look like from the jump before, and then maybe on the next date, then you can get there. But like, hey, from the get go, how let me see how you look when you wake up.
See, and that's kind of my thing. And I'm, and I'm sure that, there have been men that I've been with who are like, damn, I wish you would glam up sometimes, or I wish you would put on makeup, or I wish you would do your hair. But one, that's just not who I am. I don't like makeup. I don't want stuff on my face. I can't keep that shit up. Now, if I'm going to like a major event where I have to be glammed up, then obviously I'm going to play the part. But it's just not my thing. And that's been the one thing I've always been okay with myself as a single woman being out there, presenting myself as a woman, that's single, is this is who it is. There's no undergarments. I don't wear bulletproof shits underneath me. I don't have so when you hug me, it's all squishy woman, And again, it's no knock to any other person that,
Right.
doesn't subscribe to that, right? Like I have, most of my, women friends that I know, I give them a hug and I'm like, oh, I can feel all your shit. Like you can feel the wraps and the wears and the stuffs, and I'm like, it's cool, but I feel like if I was a man, which I'm not, but I feel like if I was a man, I want to hug a girl and she'd be squishy.
Yes,
Like she's the squishy, and so yeah, maybe it's just my preference, but like the over glam thing, like I don't know if you saw, and I think I posted it on Freethinkers, the 2 Instagram influencer model girls, I guess, who got busted with like a fucking truckload of cocaine or some shit recently.
No.
And so they showed their picture of these 2 women when they're in their full on like Instagram glam look, their influencer look, and they're beautiful women. And then they showed their mugshots, completely wig free, weave free, makeup free. And it was like, oh, like the one girl literally, like, I don't know if she was like maybe Asian and black, but like her Instagram is like very Asian. But when her mugshot, I was like, oh, she's definitely black woman, so it was like,
right.
And I mean, that's the glory of being biracial, right? You can do whatever you want to do. You can emphasize what you want to emphasize. But I was like, damn, that's like catfish, right? Like when you literally do not
it's not
like
catfish.
your picture is in that way. Isn't that catfish?
No, but I guess it kind of, it's something. Call it
I don't know. I don't know.
Flounder or something. It's kind of related.
It's a tilapia.
It's a tilapia.
Fake ass shit.
Tilapia. That's what
ain't real.
Hey, that's a new word we started.
It's tilapia. That's a tilapia.
Tilapia right there.
Yeah, so I don't know, and like I've had to think I've had to think about this over the time. I'm like, am I jealous of women who are prettier? Am I jealous of women who know how to put makeup on? I'm like, no, none of those things.
Why did you feel you had to ask that question?
Because I wanted to make sure that I was exploring all the possible reasons. Why does this turn me off? Did you
feel a certain way when, like, you noticed men were giving more attention to certain type of women than?
No, because those are not my type of men. So they don't. So they are a negative factor to me. No, no. I just wanted to make sure, like, I wasn't tripping, right? Like. And again, it's very rare that I feel insecure about myself as a woman or my body. So it's not that, it just is not attractive to me. And maybe that's the old ass woman in me, that doesn't mean that, I mean, I've got friends who have, altered their body and stuff like that. And I support that 100%. Do what you want to do with your body. I just know if I was a man, I would not be attracted to the BBL, the overdone, like, no shade, but like,
it's really about proportion, like what it says, and the thighs don't match.
The thighs don't match.
A lot of it have to be, because I mean, if you do it and you think about some of the people who did, like Buffy the Body, I don't know, do you remember her back in the day?
Yeah, hell yeah, yeah.
Look good. I ain't got no problem with that BBL.
Right.
Not at all. It was proportioned.
Right.
Like, but nowadays people, and that's one. It's like it ain't just about getting a BBL. Some of it is like you're an attention whore to some degree. It seems like it, because it's not just about I'm lacking in this area, let me kind of fill in the gaps, but it's like I need to upstage or grab more attention than the next woman who got, like, I need mine to be bigger than everybody else's.
So bigger lips and bigger boobs and bigger butt and more defined hourglass figure. And like I was watching something on Instagram yesterday. So again, no shade at all. Like, I'm not talking shit about a woman at all. That's not what I'm trying to do. It's observation. So I guess it is what it is. Nicki Minaj was in a video with a couple other people, just a quick little thing. And I mean, it was crazy, right? Because in the beginning, I remember when you were like, in the beginning, when you would watch, women on TV or video or social media, you'd be like, is it real? Like, I think it's real. Like, you used to have to question it. Now
Right.
it's like, you just know for a fucking fact it's
You
not.
already
It's a
know.
straight up, no, it ain't, this shit ain't yours. But like, when Nicki first came out, they talked about how she had her butt done and shit like that, but you really couldn't tell. Like, everything looked good to me. This fucking video that she was just in yesterday that I saw on social media, it looked horrible. Her butt looked absolutely. I mean, the comments were like, "Oh, her shit done fell down. Her BBL done lost his BBL. Like, it's all falling down." Cardi B, she's fucking gorgeous. She's got to leave her body alone.
Yep.
She went from being, the big old booty, and I think she mentioned that, I think she acknowledged she got her boobs done, but she said that's all she had done at one point. Now she's gotten everything done on her body.
It was a couple
natural.
years ago. It was like 2 or 3 years ago. I seen her in it was a Doritos Super Bowl commercial.
Okay.
I was like, who was that? They're like, it's Cardi B. I said, no, it ain't.
Wow.
Like, her face looked so different that I didn't even realize. Like,
damn.
She looked like what we were just talking about, how that robotic type of look. And you know what? Now, what hurt my heart to the core? To me, the finest celebrity person for me, Serena Williams. That is the gold standard for me. And she been messing with her face. I know we ain't talking about faces, but like her face does not look anything like it used to. And I'm just like, just a single tear drop from the side of my eye. Yeah.
K Michelle is like that. You show me a picture of K Michelle, I'm like, I don't know who that is. That is not the K. That's not the K Michelle that I grew up listening to. That's not that girl's face. Nene Leakes. They said if Nene don't leave her nose alone, she ain't gonna have one left. Like, Nene just came out with a whole new face. I mean, it's Nene because it's Nene, but it's like, oh wow. Like, when does it become enough? When does enough become enough? I guess whenever the credit card stops fucking.
And that's the other thing that you have to worry about. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, even somebody, so then the questions start becoming to for someone who may be potentially seeking you as a mate. Like, why did you feel that you need this BBL? Why did you feel like you need? Is it like a gap tooth? Like, oh, I got a space between my teeth and I just need to close them up a little bit? Or is it like, is it a mindset to where I'm not beautiful, I'm not enough? It's almost like it's a body dysmorphia type of thing where you never view yourself as pretty enough. Like, God, geez. Lil' Kim, like,
oh, I know,
she was so pretty. Oh my God.
And even when she had like just a few procedures done, she was still Lil' Kim. She was still really pretty. Now,
nobody recognizes her, and it's a shame when people have to.
I blame
almost like giving you grace
culture on that though too. I blame people. I blame men. I blame culture. I blame patriarchy on a lot of that too. I blame beauty standards on a lot of that too.
I don't. With her, well, I don't.
You can say that because you're not a woman who has ever been expected to be a certain anything. But as a woman who is always expected to be fucking something, I blame a lot of that on that. But it does take over in your mental. And I think that if you are one who might not be the most strongest in your confidence of yourself, it's really easy to probably develop body dysmorphia. But a lot of that shit came from the beauty standards that men set for women. So to go then tell us now that that's not what men like, what the fuck do y'all like?
No, let me tell you why I disagree. I don't even think, and this is the argument that a lot of men have when it comes to women. Some cases they right, some cases they wrong. But a lot of times you hear women, well, all the stuff that we do for you, and we do this, and we, the heels and this and makeup, and we do this all because we know this is what y'all like. That's not entirely true. A lot of this stuff that y'all do is to upstage other women. A lot of this stuff is, and I've heard of a lot of women talk. And even like I said, I love, because I have a lot of lady friends. I love when I get to the place where I'm a fly on the wall and they just really don't even notice I'm
Just be
around.
talking
And
like you ain't
they just
there.
talk freely. And the stuff that they talking about when it comes to beauty, fashion, glamour, it's not what oftentimes it's not with a man in mind. It's trying to upstage this other chick who she thinks she cute. Like it's me wanting to be, and I'm talking about ladies, they want to be the cutest person in the room or the cutest person at the club or now ultimately, yeah, you may get more likes and more attention by that what you're trying to attract. But who's to say, like, just being, if you're cute and you're attractive and you got a good personality, you will gather attention. So part of the, and this ain't even Lil' Kim, I'll get back to Lil' Kim in a second, but you are not designed to attract everybody. Like in today's society, people are to the place where I have to be, I need to be universally appealing to the masses.
Right. Everybody has to think I'm attractive because I think I'm attractive. What?
That's a mistake. So then what happens is when Susie Q getting attraction, this and this and that, and then Lil Debbie over here, she's getting some likes too. Since you have this complex to where you need all of the attention, now you're trying to upstage Lil Debbie because she's getting some of the looks and you feel like you should be getting all of them.
Right.
And you get yourself out of balance trying to compete in ways that you never should. I think a lot of women get that. Now, let me get back to Lil' Kim real quick. What I was saying, why I disagree with you about Lil' Kim is I think Lil' Kim's initial problem was that people don't realize in music, and especially female rappers, but in all, like male rappers, female, you have a shelf life. The rap game is a young man's and a young lady's sport.
True.
So you were it. You had your white hot lightning time to where you were the one. You were on the top. It's never meant to last.
Right.
So by the time you hit 30 and then and you competing with Foxy for a second, and then some other younger people start coming around. Young people, yeah, you cool, but you was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is when you start trying to compete with the young people today, when you were yesterday, your time has passed.
True.
You need to operate in the space. You still got millions of followers that's in your age demographic. When you get focused on trying to be appealing to everybody, and I still need to reach the young people, rappers and musicians get themselves messed up so many times. There's such a small percentage of people who can keep dipping back down into that younger pool and still being appealing to the young mass. Most people, that ain't even like that. Even Jay-Z is considered the greatest rapper of all time by most people. And his last 3 albums have not touched Lil Yachty. Lil Yachty get more views than, like, it's a young man's sport. It don't take away from you. The only thing that's gonna take away from you is if Jay-Z start mumbling, trying to keep up with Lil Yachty and no, then you turn yourself into a caricature of who you really are. And that's what I feel Lil' Kim did, and she took it too far, trying to you're gonna keep getting older. It don't matter what you do to try to stay young. Nature ain't designed that way. I be going to the gym. I'm getting these man boobs and they keep sagging down on the side. Man, I'm telling you, I'm bench pressing 225. I'm hitting my chest like crazy, and my chest look decent, but that little man boob dad bod thing ain't going nowhere. I can try to, I can make it do as good as it can, but I can't. It's gonna do what it's gonna do, and you gotta be okay with that to a certain level.
So no pec implants for you, no lipo, no pec lipo for you.
Nikki, there's people who do that. There's men who do the pec incept and the bicep, and it look a god awful hot mess.
I agree. I totally agree. I'm trying not to let maybe my bias for disapproval of cosmetic surgery kind of lead me in this conversation. But there was a time where I used to want to get a boob job too. So it's not like I've been like anti-cosmetic surgery my whole entire life type shit. But it just, I don't know. I think as I've gotten older, you just, and I hate to keep saying if I was a man, this is what I would like, but I don't know. As a man, that's what certain things about that would turn me the fuck off.
If I ran across a meal, I'd probably I'd probably get the height surgery. Boost myself up another 3 or 4 inches.
Would you really?
I like myself now, but me, like at 6 foot 6'1", oh man, come on, you can't tell me nothing.
You can't tell me shit.
I'm like, man, come on.
Damn it. She said men do it more than women. You think men get plastic surgery more than women?
No.
I don't think men get it more than women. I don't, because there's only so many, procedures that a man. Well, no. I guess there's not. There's not so many procedures. I mean, I can have just as many to his face, his nose, and his lips, and his cheeks, and his chin, and his pecs, and his. I guess the same amount of shit to be worked on a man's body.
Being pretty is not even attractive to a lot of, like, being a pretty man is not attractive to a lot of. Like that's.
Oh no, 2023 is a different type of men's out here. So some of these men's is really, really, really serious about being pretty men.
But like somebody asked me, because you can't, like when I was little, I got in a car accident. Look, I have a scar that's been on. I have a scar that goes from here all the way down to here. And it's, if you see me in person, it's more visible. Somebody asked me, would you ever think about getting scar removed? I said, heck no. I like my scar.
Right.
I want some bumps and bruises on me. I got some little right there. A fist hit me. I caught an elbow. Got in a fight. Caught a couple of them like that. You want a little, a man, you want a little bit of edge too. You don't want just to look like perfect. I had a girl tell me that one time, like, I hate a man that got soft hands, like soft, smooth hands. Like, wow. Like I need a man that got some, got a little grit to his hands, got some, got some callus on there.
Yeah,
some,
what do you do all day long if you ain't got nothing musty up on your hands or your palms?
Right, you gotta, it gotta be a little rough. Now,
right.
It's low, lotion them up, but they shouldn't be as soft as a woman's hands. That's what I was told by a woman before.
I agree. That he worked all the way inside. Right. He ain't got no callus on his hands at all. Right. And that's cool. That's cool because there's a job for everybody. That's fine. But I'm with your girl. I need to see them. Cuticles broke up a little bit and see some of them calluses on the palms. Let me see where you drilled a nail through your hand somewhere.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. See, I got marks. I got, lawn care accidents. I got scars right here. I was shooting a gun and the kickback. I got some scars on my knuckles. Like, give me.
Right.
And then I box. So, you got a lot of
scar
tissue on your knuckles and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
It's necessary. Sure. Need it.
Yeah. So, no, like I said, no, it's not a bag on. I'm not trying to bag on people who participate in, cosmetic surgery, but I felt like the video was not true. But to your point, they probably only put the people on it that responded the way that they wanted to be able to prove what they wanted to prove in the video. But I was happy to see men say that, yes, they do prefer, a natural body woman over a BBL. So, one day we're going to be popular again. And hey, to my natural ladies, we're coming back.
Yeah. Yeah. It's situational.
I believe that. Yeah.
Every situation.
Most things are preference.
I need to, you have to show me a picture. Like this natural woman or this woman who has some augmentation, which one would you prefer?
Right.
And it's just going to come down to what my preference is. As long as the augmentation is not out of proportion, I'm going to be fine with it.
Right.
And as long as the natural is not, totally opposite of what my typical attraction is, I'm going to be cool with it.
Right. I like it.
You
I
gotta
like
watch these posts. You gotta watch these posts.
True that. True that.
So the other thing, I guess, man, we might only get to 2 topics today. I don't know. We might find a third. And I did get this in here so we could run this down.
Okay.
I think so. So, okay. Now this got me because usually like I said, I don't like these sweeping statements that generalize this, but I was like, shoot, this is true. So it says, girl wants older, it's just a preference. Guy wants younger, he's creepy, immature. Girl doesn't want shorty, don't want no short man. That's just a preference. That's just a preference. Guy doesn't want a fatty, overweight one. Oh, he's shallow. He's an a-hole. Girl wants a dominant, I need a dominant man. I need somebody who's take control, take charge. That's a preference. That's a preference. Guy says, I want a woman that's submissive. Oh my God, he just cussed. That's that S word. That's the cuss word.
But they're not comparing the same things though. That's the hard part about this is they're literally not the same thing. But keep going.
Okay, we're gonna speak on that. Girl sets boundaries. These are my boundaries. Okay, this is empowering. Have boundaries. Guy sets boundaries. He's controlling. Now that is apples for apples right there.
Well, no, because sets a boundary. Girl sets boundary, guy set boundary. Okay, yeah, sure. That is apples to apples.
That's apples to apples.
That is.
Okay. Tell me your thoughts on this one, because I was like,
run them down again for me, because I don't have it in front of me. So you don't have to post up again if you don't want to, but just run it down for me again. Okay. So it
can you see it, or is it too small for you?
I'm blowing it up right now so I can see. Because so let me see. Can I see it over there? No, I'm on my phone only, and I can't see anything.
So basically everything. If a girl has certain criteria, then that's just her preference. So if a girl wants an older guy, she don't want no short man. She wants somebody who's dominant, take charge, take control. She sets boundaries. That's all her preference and her being empowered. That's how they sum it up. Well, that's your preference. That's your preference. You like older men? No, that's a preference. And the reason that's apples to apples, because if a girl wants an older man, then there has to be an older man that wants the younger girl.
I think that older people wanting younger people is creepy, period. Whether it's a younger girl wanting an older man, or the comparison to the older man wanting a younger.
Nikki, if there are girls, and I hear this oftentimes. Oh yeah, I hear a lot of women talk about, I don't date men my age. I have to. Oh, that's good. Right. I don't date men my age. I date older men because that's my preference. They're more mature. I don't really like dating my age. So, but on the flip side, these younger women who like dating older men, that's a market. So they're also on the yin and the yang, the little Asian circle sign, the yin and the yang. If there's younger women who like older men, then in order for that to work, there has to be older men who like younger women. Sure. How can one be a matter of preference? But the same person, they could be the same people in a relationship. And the younger girl who likes the older man, that's her preference. But the very same person she's in a relationship, that's kind of creepy and immature on his part. Speak to that for me, Nikki.
Tell me something on that. I don't know. Is this where the double standard applies? But like I said, for me, I think it is equally creepy to be the older person who's interested in the much younger person. I think it's also creepy for a young ass chick to be interested in older ass dudes. Like I think it's fucking weird. Like okay. I do. And now all of these things are preferences. However, I do not subscribe to women just getting passes because they're women, and things being able to be passed off differently because they're women. So guy wants younger girl, it's creepy. Girl wants older dude, it's a preference. You got to question, why does girl want older dude, and why does older dude want younger girl?
Forget about the questions though first, Nikki.
But that's what makes it preferential versus creepy, and it's creepy to me. Like it's beyond preference. It's a creepy ass preference. How about that? It's a creepy ass preference. for the older person to want to be with the younger person, and for the younger person to want to be with the older person. And we're not just talking about like maybe 5, 6, 7 years. I remember I had girlfriends in high school who were fucking 17 years old who loved 30 and 40-year-old men, and I was like, oh, that's fucking gross to me. Like, that's the age of your dad. That's the like. Like, that's just weird to me. So
but let me ask you this, Nikki. Let me ask you this. I hear and I respect and I believe what your personal view is of that. But the statements listed here, is that the general consensus of society as to how they view it? On
the guy wanting younger and girl wanting older, yeah, definitely. I believe that. Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Whether I agree with it or not, I'm saying the way society views this
on that aspect, yeah, that's fucked up.
On all of them. Tell me which one you disagree
with. So then we got what? Let's see. Guy doesn't want a fatty, and that's a preference. I don't want a fat man either. I like big dudes, but I don't want a fat dude.
A man is not privileged to verbalize that openly. Be like, nah, I don't want.
But that's because that's because we act like it's not okay for a man to say that a woman is fat. Yes, the fuck you are. Like, if we got out of our feelings and allowed people to call things what they are and be honest about stuff, then it wouldn't be shallow. Like, a man doesn't. If this man doesn't want a fat woman, well, that's okay. Do what?
I said men don't have the liberty at this stage in the game to really be honest. Like, okay, I'm gonna get to my conclusion to all of this later, but keep going. Like, okay, so
go ahead.
Girl, don't. Speaking of, you are that girl.
I'm the girl.
Don't want no short man. You don't want no shorty.
That's a preference.
That's a preference.
Just a preference. Just like a man don't want a fat chick. It's a preference. Just like you like a big booty. It's the preference. I like certain things about men. It's just a preference. I don't think that there's just things I like. Like, I've been told, oh, you're shallow because if a man doesn't look a certain way on the outside, then you're not going to be interested in getting to know him on the inside. No, I'm not. No, not as somebody that I may be sexually trying to have some vibe with. No, like, you have to be attracted to me on the outside.
That ain't even. You are free and okay to be like, nah, I don't want no short man. But a guy is not that in the same circle. A guy is not free to be like, nah, I don't like them. I don't want no fat girl.
He is free. I think he just probably watches who he says it around, because you don't want to offend the wrong person and you don't want to be called that dude. But I think absolutely every person has the right to speak about what they do like or what they don't like.
If they don't. The world is not free thinkers, Nikki. We don't get the right to just say what we want in regular society.
Well, maybe we should. Shit, I do. That's why things are great.
That's why we got free thinkers. But
hey, come on over. Welcome to Death Row. This shit's great over here when you speak how you really feel and you feel how you really speak. Like, the shit is great over here. I don't want short. I don't want this. I don't want that. They're all preferential. But on some of these, I can see why you say it's definitely a little bit of a biased vibe for women versus for men. Yeah,
always.
But in this one though too, it doesn't compare. So it says guy doesn't want a fatty, girl doesn't want a shorty. So I mean, they're not really the same thing, right? Because the guy could say he doesn't want, a tall woman. Maybe it's a shorter dude who doesn't want a woman who's taller than him, or maybe it's a tall dude who doesn't want a chick as tall as him. I think if those two,
even with that, men are looked at as shallow, or men are still looked at as shallow if they disqualify women for external attributes.
That's fucking stupid. And women who get mad at men for doing,
we do that all the time, though. It's done all the time to us.
That's dumb. That's dumb. That's stupid. That's dumb. Everybody's allowed to have a preference. You don't have to like it, and you don't have to be the preference. But if you're mad because you're not the fucking preference, you got a problem. You're the problem. Like, let people like what they like and not like what they don't like, and not feel bad about it. I'm never gonna feel bad about liking what I like and not liking what I don't like.
Now let's go to this one.
Go. What's the next one?
Girl wants dominant. She wants somebody dominant.
Mm-hmm.
That's a preference. Oh, okay. That's your preference.
Mm-hmm.
Let a man say he on a woman that's submissive. Oh my God.
But what if a man said he wants a dominant woman? They have to be the same. Like a woman wants a dominant man. Okay, fine. A man wants a dominant woman. That's the same comparison. But what would society say if a man had a
the
dominant
reason
woman?
it's not, it's just like the older and the younger. In order for a woman to want and to be able to have a dominant guy, there has to be a guy who wants and is willing to have a submissive woman.
Right.
That's the same one relationship, and that's the polar of the dynamic. Because one is going to be submit. In order for me to want a dominant guy, the dominant guy has to want or allow me to be submissive.
I agree.
But it's the same relationship, but it's viewed two different ways. So let's say they go to a I don't know, they had a work party, something. And in two different circles, and the girl, talking in one circle, I want a man who dominant, who take charge, know what he's doing, tell me. And they'd be like, oh yeah, that's okay, that's what you. And some people like, nah, that ain't really my thing. But she won't get labeled a certain type of way because that's her preference. Now, guys let him open up a conversation in the circle of people. Yeah, I need a submissive woman. Excuse me? I work just like you. I put my pants on. Like it'll just go a lot of different directions.
Why can't he just have a preference and and a man that doesn't? And I don't think that a man who wants a submissive woman is necessarily a controlling man either, because if he does it right, he's not controlling her. She's doing it because she wants to. She's doing it because the reciprocity says if I do A, B is gonna fucking happen, and so is C and D and E and F and G. So it's nothing for me to be able to be submissive and follow your lead. I just think I think that the word, and we've talked about submissive before. I think submissive, it just got such a bad connotation. And
you know what's funny about that? Because my sister will oftentimes talk about how, she's submissive to her husband. And a lot of people feel a different way about even her saying that, or that's what she prefers. There's long-lasting conversations that, oh yes, I've heard them
because she says she's submissive to her husband.
Yes, and not only she is, that she prefers to be, and she wants to be
the submissive wife. Absolutely.
But the thing that's funny to me is when I hear the kickback of a lot of people and the extended conversations we'll have based off of that, it's that they will take that statement and their mind will run with how they perceive what that looks like.
What does submissive look like to them? Controlling. They're going to paint it as controlling.
All of this,
they paint it as everything but fucking submissive.
You lose all of your rights. You don't you don't have the right to speak unless spoken to. Like, it's all this stuff that they get in their mind. And I'm like,
who created that picture then? Where did we get that picture of submissive from? If that's not what it means, where did that come from? Who turned that into be that?
People who don't understand. They don't understand what it means to be submissive, and it's people who were improperly coached to be submissive. When there's a lot of men who will try to tell you to be submissive to them because they're narcissists and they want to control you. Like, you got to understand the difference. Be controlling.
Obviously, there's a fine line.
Right. But when you go to that, then you don't understand what in the healthy aspect of what that means, what it looks like. So what the reason I said it's so funny to me is because I see people push back on that. I'm like, if you actually saw their relationship, it wouldn't look the way that you're perceiving it.
Right. Right.
It's a dominant, and even in my relationship, my significant other is the same way as well. She is submissive to me, and what that does. So, and the thing that they don't get, you're not submissive to you're submissive to a person that's worthy of it.
Yes.
And what happens is when you submit your power or overall authority to that person, the right type of person, all they do is hand the authority back to you.
Here he
So
is.
it's like, okay, I have the last word. I have final say. So, okay, I appreciate that. Now you can continue to run the house the way you want to do. You know, some people be like, oh, I like what you, hey, that's her. She do whatever she want to. She run all of that. And, you know, like I said, my little 2%, if there's something I feel a way about, I'll say something. And I know that she gives me the liberty to change or override something if I decide to. But since she giving me that power, then I'm giving that power right back to her.
Right.
You run and you manage this house and you do things the way that you see fit. I trust you. The way that you trust me, then I give that trust back to you. And that's where the reciprocation of respect comes in. Tierra says she can't find the link.
Well, she had a hard time logging into it the last time too, so I don't know. And I don't have anything on me, so you'll have to try to copy the link and maybe send it to her directly. I don't know why it's doing that to her. It did it to Crystal too. They both tried to join a couple conversations ago, and I don't know the workaround. They were getting like an error message when they were trying to click the link, so I don't know what the workaround is. I don't know if it's a permissions thing. I don't know if it's been blocked on the cell device or whatever, but I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Yeah, so I think people have obviously taken the word submissive and maybe had a bad experience, or maybe just grew up with a bad picture of what submission was, right? I think most people are familiar with the word submission, let's say like in the church house, right? And so let's say you grew up as a child hearing this word submission and seeing what you thought submissive women were supposed to be, perhaps by men that weren't reciprocal men or that weren't good fucking men. So maybe your picture of what submissive looked like, let's say as a little girl growing up, was fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do what my mom or my grandma or my auntie did. Like, you know, and then of course you have the feminist movement. And I mean, so obviously there's a lot of key components to that.
That's why I consistently say you have to be very careful of agenda-based movements.
Agreed.
Realize I've said this before. An agenda does not look out for the health and the wellness of humanity as a whole.
As a whole,
an agenda looks to push their agenda by any means, and if it's to the detriment of another agenda of other people, so what? We're pushing the agenda. So that's why I said any agenda that you own, just make sure that you're prepared to jump off of that bandwagon at a certain period of time, because almost all of them will go too far. I am a Christian, or I'm labeled as a Christian. When there's Christian movements going on, you got to be careful. They're going to go too far.
Right.
You better be prepared to jump off that bandwagon.
Right. And start attaching.
Black Lives Matter, women's movements, LGBTQIA, you better be prepared to jump off, because they're going to keep going until it's the detriment of the overall community. And if you're looking for true equality, you got to know when to jump off of these bandwagons, because they're not looking for they start with equality because usually they're marginalized. So they're trying to get up to a certain standard that's equal to the rest of society. But when they get there, they're not going to stop. They'll keep going. Look, wise words to my children 20 years later when they hear this. What was I gonna say about? So you know what? I kind of that might have been what I was touching. So what all of this tells me, this is my overall assessment.
What else is on there? Let me see.
No, that's it. The set. And then it's just say when a girl sets boundaries, then it's empowering. Guy sets boundaries, he's being
controlling. Yeah, that's whack. That's super whack, because boundaries are necessary and not enough people have boundaries, which is why people who are calling people who set boundaries controlling. You don't have boundaries if you call somebody else setting them controlling. There is such thing as controlling, but boundaries are absolutely necessary. people who don't like boundaries call them things like that. I think that's bullshit.
So the question is, how did we get how did we get this way? How did it come to the place to where two things can be viewed separately based on the gender that speaks it? In my short assessment of this, in my opinion, I think in this case the spoils go to the winner of who controls the narrative.
Sure.
And since
Sure.
women are I will say in this society, women are, I want to say natural communicator, but I will say women practice communication more than men do.
Okay.
Their voice is heard the most. Like men feel a certain way, but men don't often vocalize what they feel.
Okay.
Women feel a certain way and they'll shout it to the rooftops. And so even though there can be two different thoughts about this, society, social media, regular media, you're often hearing the one side more because that one side is more comfortable with verbalizing their feelings,
right?
And the other verbalizes they don't as much. They're more silent. So,
well, yeah, you're been called controlling when you speak up.
If a certain verbiage that's constantly being pushed out and the other side stays mute, then that's how you tend to lose your voice. And now you get to the place where you can't speak your mind the same way that you want because it's been pounded and taught in us. That's not acceptable to say that. Right. You can't say, how come I can't?
Why can't I say fat? It's wrong to say fat. Like fat is fat.
Or say I don't prefer fat women. How
right.
Come,
I don't like overweight people. I don't like an overweight partner.
And it sounds, because it's not a regular part of, we haven't practiced expressing ourselves on a regular basis. It sounds harsh or foreign when a lot of people hear a man say that, versus a woman say, I don't want no short man. Oh, well, women speak their mind on how they feel about that all the time. So it's not piercing to the ears when a woman says, oh, yeah, I've heard that a lot of times. And a lot of men hear that oftentimes. So when you hear it, it's been massaged into us to where, okay, yeah, that's how you feel. And the verbiage, that's my preference.
Right.
So you already know we are we follow suit when it comes to certain. That's why the term fake news. We kept hearing the term fake news enough. Now everybody talk about that's fake news. You hear it enough, then you just start following suit with it.
Right.
And you stop hearing something enough now with like I'm using this just as an example. We say retarded all the time.
Oh, I thought about that today. I said the R word. I called it the R word today, and I was like, I wonder who's gonna fucking report me. I was gonna
say that. I ain't know if anybody
knows. Gonna report me for literally typing R word, like the letter R and then word. I didn't write the word, but I used it. I wanted to see
what happens is it's been discouraged from us because it's no longer acceptable to use. It's been discouraged to use that. So now when you go long enough without hearing that being said,
when you
if I hear somebody say it, I'm like, oh, hey, we can't say that word though. Like it actually makes me like, oh, hold on. So, and I've done that even with my sister on high IQ. She said, like, we can't say that word anymore. You gotta, and so what's the crazy thing is, it's so many words we can still get away with. We probably shouldn't be saying.
Right.
We're right here. We can't say, and it's all about conditioning. And so that's I think overall that's what's happened. That's where we are right now.
I think that social media probably is going to continue adding to this. I think that I think just this celebrated culture of wanting to be toxic or like celebrating my toxic things or highlighting my fucked up behavior as opposed to like fixing my fucked up behavior. Like I think a lot of that adds to some of this as well. Seeing things as, you know, illusions as opposed to seeing things for what they truthfully are, you know.
Yeah, you got, man, listen, free thinking is a practice. You got to practice it in everything.
Practice. It
Hold
is
on
a
a second. Hold on a
practice.
second. Tia sent me this. Well, okay. It keep giving her this message, and it says, "Let
It gave her a
StreamYard see
message
your
last
Facebook
week.
live comment." Well, then click on it to let Facebook see your live comments. Maybe it'll open it up. Maybe it's just a disclaimer before they let you in. That
Did you send her the direct link
yes,
though?
I did.
Okay.
And
Well,
that's
I
what it's
wonder
saying.
if
It said,
maybe because we've already started it, it shouldn't make a difference. She should be able to
make a
join
difference
at
at
any
all.
time.
Yeah, I don't know. Got to work on this. Oh, yeah, she said she did.
I don't know why it's
We're
got to be something with the permissions of the phone, security settings, and StreamYard, or Google settings maybe with StreamYard. Because her and Crystal got the same error message a couple weeks ago, and they tried to join the conversation too. So I don't know about that.
Anything. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a
Sorry
test
about
run
that.
on that.
Yeah, we'll definitely do some test run
Sorry
first.
about that.
We'd love to have you join
Okay.
us. Thank you for at least being
So,
with us in the comments tonight. We miss you.
yeah,
Definitely.
so
We talked about
all
you
that
last
fussing
week. I don't know if
I was
Tira, I
doing
don't know
all
if you
that
got to
fussing
hear
at
our
people
conversation
earlier
last
today.
week. What'd you say?
I said I was doing all that fussing at people earlier in the show, and they might not even
She's
be
like,
able
I'm
to
trying to
get
join and I can't even get on. Oh, Lordy Lord. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know. I don't know. So I guess maybe my takeaway from both of these is just, I don't know, because I think in a free thinking space, I feel like I look at things, you know, from both perspectives pretty well before making decisions and judgments on what's controlling or boundaries and but like, get out your fucking feelings sometimes. Like I think we just need to get out of our feelings, period. Like get out of a state of being in our feelings all the time and just be. Like everything isn't offensive, everything isn't intentional, everything isn't personal. Everything isn't about you. Most things actually aren't about you. So don't interpersonalize things that you don't need to be interpersonalizing and taking on and putting ownership to and putting energy on. Like because I read the comments on that particular post, the men perspective and women's perspective on that particular one you just put up there, and it was interesting. And that's one of the ones that I was like, I don't want to type this reply. Like,
right.
This is a talking one. This isn't a typing one because there was just too much to it to say yay or nay.
Yeah, I say yay on that one. I was like, oh man, the truth.
You're like, damn. You're like, usually.
Yeah, I'm like, nope. This one is spot on for me.
Right.
Any other topics that I'm still looking through settings. That's why I'm talking slow. Were there any other topics that you want to touch before we got off?
I mean, there's quite a few of them that are on there, really, but nothing that really jumps out to me as oh, we got to talk about this one, other than the two that we just talked about.
Okay, I just turned something off. It says somewhere guest must authenticate. I don't know what that means, but I turned it off, so maybe it don't.
Oh, that means we can get hella randoms just joining the stream.
Yeah, I can handle it if we do.
Kick them out if we have to.
Right, we'll kick them out quick. We had a couple of people that was funny. We had some.
That was horrible. They fucking streamed some porn. What is that?
Oh, I think that was on Zoom that time. But
was it?
Yeah, we had some more drunk people come on StreamYard. I think they came through YouTube. It's funny, and that's interesting because some people just podcast surf. Like they'll get on YouTube and they just surf different podcasts and they'll run into something. And they're like, oh, this looks interesting.
Somebody else is saying they can't get on too. It just says Facebook user. Somebody else on somebody from somewhere. Who is this? I don't know who this is. Whoever it is, your name's not coming through. They can't get on either. Well, that sucks. Well, let's try next week to those of you who are trying to get on tonight, who are unable to get on tonight, please come back. Oh, look, there she is.
Oh, well, maybe that helped.
Oh,
hey.
Oh, that was Stokely. We were talking about you, Stokely. Try again, Stokely. I think I fixed something, Stokely. Try again.
Because we sure been missing you, Stokely.
Mm-hmm.
Tiara, what did you do? Did you do anything differently?
So, okay, the link that I would do like under you within the video that you guys are actually live on, that didn't work. I had to go back to the post.
Yes.
And use that link, and it worked.
That's the only way you can get onto the screen is that link. Otherwise, it'll only take you to the actual live this.
Yeah.
So
yeah, see about comments, but yeah, I'm like, dang, what's going on? I want to jump in.
Got you. Yeah, no.
Okay, hold on. Well, all right, Tierra. That means you probably got rebuttals and things that you wanted to interject and you didn't get a chance to. You got your notes written down. You go jump back.
Well, listen, let me first of all, I gotta pull that post back up on my phone because I'm doing this through my laptop too. So I'm trying to have like and I know you guys were talking a little bit about it. I didn't catch everything, but I'm like, let me go find this post because I feel like, oh, here it is. I feel like when we're saying these things, it's opposite. Like, I think if we say the exact same thing for a woman that we're trying to say for a man, I think we can get into the same level of disgust or concern that we would have for men. So like, take the first two. A girl wants an older and then the guy wants a younger. That's opposite. Let's say that in the same regards. If a guy wanted an older woman, we would say that was his preference. We wouldn't care.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go to the second one.
It depends on how did you watch the Ozarks?
Yes, Ozarks.
Now,
show on Netflix, right?
We talking about that youngster and the old woman.
Yeah.
Hey, what? It was trippy, right? I think it was the aesthetic of it was trippy. You know what I'm saying? If she was
a beautiful older woman,
yeah, she was, aesthetically pleasing. I don't think it would have been a big deal. I think people would have been like high-fiving the young guy.
Okay, you continue making your point. So you saying that if a girl, hold on. So if girl says she want older, if a guy say he want older, then maybe they wouldn't trip as much. Okay. I give you that. If a guy wants younger, now if a girl says she wants younger, no, people don't really trip on that much either.
Moms, especially moms of men, of young men and boys, we have a problem with this. We have an absolute problem with this. We're like, why do you? Because we feel like this woman is seasoned. She's lived her life. We have a young male that's very impressionable. Moms are not don't care for that. If we're the same age of a woman as a woman, and we have younger sons, I have a son that's 20, about to be 21, I ain't feeling it. Why would you, a 43-year-old, about to be a 43-year-old, I'm about to be 43 in January, be trying to holler at my son? I think it's so.
Tierra, hold on. I can't remember if you was on back in the day when we had this conversation, but we had some touchy gender men-women conversations, and then a couple weeks later, old Jada got caught up with that entanglement.
That shit wouldn't fly to me. That shit wouldn't fly to me at that time either.
Let me say, it was a lot of people on there, and if it didn't fly, they didn't. Well, she grown, she do what she want to do, she living her best life, and the response was, well, men do it, so I'm like, well, if you say that they nasty for doing it, then how y'all even call her nasty? I'm gonna go pull up the tape and I'm gonna go get the snip because I know we got it. But it wasn't the same energy.
Yeah, I trust me. And what I was when I look at Jaden, her son,
period,
and August Alsina, I don't think they're in the same age bracket, honestly. So I don't know. We gotta keep in mind we grew up watching Jaden as a little
regardless
boy.
Of if that's your son friend, you just probably
I think it's kind of wild. I think that's a wild situation. Even if they're both adults, I still think it's wild. It's like, that just seems off to me. But
he did that shit to his son and everybody was cool with it because it was a younger woman.
True.
It's like that shit. I think that was just the absolute no-no, is the fact that it was her son's friend.
So
Yeah, I think
August
that's probably what.
Alstina is currently 31 and Jaden is currently 25. So if that was maybe what 3-4 years ago, he was 27, 28. And Jaden was, I
Yeah,
mean, you know, I
there's
don't
a
know,
little age
27.
gap.
Listen, when are we gonna get to the, and this is I was thinking about this earlier. When are we gonna get to the age where grown is grown? You grown or you're not grown?
I
I'm
told you
kind of
it's 40
confused.
up. It's 40. It's 40 up. It's 40 up.
No,
It's 40 up.
he 22, she's 70. If they love it, they like it, then I love it too. Like
Of
you
course.
grown, she grown, grown is grown.
But
But
I
I
think
mean,
I
go
agree.
ahead.
It's grown. Really, technically, 18 is grown, right? But
Yeah.
we have to really analyze the situation. Not everybody falls into this, but most 18 or young 20-year-olds, they're still wet behind the ears. They're a little green. So you take an older person, it does seem a little like, what do you have in common with this 19-year-old Leonardo DiCaprio? You know what I mean? What do you have in common with these people? Because when you were 19, these people, the parents probably was the same age as you, or you know what I'm saying? Like what?
Okay, but Tiara, like what we're asking the question that should be irrelevant. If they are together and their relationship is thriving, then they got something in common, and whatever they have in common is what they need to have in common because their relationship is working.
No, and I agree.
Unless we're just
No,
making
no,
the
no.
assumption, again, we make the assumption that, oh, he's just in it, so she's young, she don't know, she just wants to be able to control. He just wants to be able to control her. He just wants to be able to manipulate, and like that. That's usually the sentiment that comes along with why is this older guy with this younger girl. There's usually some type of controlling mechanism that we assume that the older man is having over the younger woman.
Well, like I said, everybody's grown, so I can't fault anybody for that. I just was like, well, what is your attraction to a particular younger age? What makes you like knowing your age you're not attracted to? I mean, some people have a history of it. It could be just authentic attraction. Like, you see somebody, you guys vibe. But like, say it's not Robert De Niro, I think, or Al Pacino. Al Pacino just had a baby by a lady that was like in her 20s. And
But
he's
that's what I'm saying. How do we determine somebody else's attraction?
no, I'm not saying we can. I'm saying it could be authentic. That's what I'm saying. That might have been very authentic. I don't know Al Pacino to only date such young women because I think he's been kind of all over the board. Leonardo DiCaprio in particular, he only truly dates younger women. And so it makes you raise your eyebrows like, what is that? Like, I don't have a problem if somebody has a preference, right? But it just kind of like, you're like, what's
Younger can't be a preference.
No, I'm saying I don't have a problem if somebody has a preference. You know what I mean? But it just kind of sometimes takes you back. It's like, well, why you don't like people your age? Like, what is that? I don't have too many preferences on dating, but I mean,
okay, so Tia, that's my thing though. Like, when do we get to the place where we quickly ask why without putting judgment on the person? Like, for instance, I'll simple one. There's certain breed of black men who would only date white women.
Yeah,
and the question to be there for, okay, what's up with that? But it was a half a second question, and then it was, okay, well, if he love it, then I love it. Like, who he loves or who he's attracted to doesn't affect me, doesn't affect my life. And if that's what he likes, that's what he loves. Maybe it could be a variety of things. I just don't know. As long as he's not going out of his way to see, because the problem comes in with these dudes who sit there, they will boast about how they only date white women and then ish on black women at the same time, talking about, see, that's why I mess with black women because they this, and this. See, now you done went over the line. So as long as, what I'm saying is, if Leo or Al Pacino or whoever else is living their life, they have a preference, but they're not ishing on, see, that's why I don't date nobody my age because they this and this and that. Now you're trying to not only speak to your preference, but you're now trying to talk bad about other people and also semi discourage other people from partaking with other women your age as well. See, that's what when you ishing on, it's kind of like they're saying you shouldn't like them either. Like what?
No,
if that's your preference, just let it be your preference.
I think preference is fine as long as you don't. I feel like it becomes toxic when you go out your way to put down the opposite of your preference. That's
right.
And I don't like if it becomes something more where it's a fetishing type of thing. Where
is it wrong to have a fetish?
And
I would almost argue that you probably should date or marry someone that you got to, because now let me say this, because if you do have a fetish and you don't marry or be with a person that you have the fetish to, then the fetish, there's a good chance the fetish ain't going away. So if you have a toe fetish and you just gotta suck on toe, you probably want to find somebody who like getting their toes sucked, or otherwise it could be a problem, and you're gonna be seeking out somebody who want to get their toes sucked if it ain't the person you with.
But then it becomes like you fetishizing me for just it's not. I feel like it's not pure. Like if you're fetishizing me for just my color, right? You're not really in love with me. You're just in love with the idea of me. And I want somebody to be pure. Like,
can it be two things at the same time?
When you get fetishing, it becomes morbid, or it comes a little bit different. Like if I love a white man, I just want to love that white man. Just that if that's him, who he is, I love him. Or if I love black men, I want to love just the black man itself. Not I fetish your because what my idea of what you are, your color, or what it symbolizes and stuff like that. So I think it can kind of get a little tricky there. For me, I think fetishizing could be a little bit, it's a slippery slope there.
And I think that to your point, Tara, I think that when you are fetishizing somebody, you're literally, there's something about the exterior. Like there's literally something about an exterior that you are intrigued with, and that's okay too, but like that's really all you're interested in. I don't feel like you are truly interested in who that person is behind that. You just want that thing. Mm-hmm. You want no, I don't. So to your question, is it wrong to have a fetish? No, it's not wrong to have a fetish, but I don't think that having a fetish for things is the same thing as having a fetish for like somebody's skin color, their skin tone. Like it's one thing to suck on some toes, it's another to be a person who only wants to be with somebody because of the color of their skin, especially because those people don't genuinely get to know those people, right? To understand more about who they are or why they are what they are, or what have to be true other than them just being excited about or engaged in just a fetish of a.
I think that's unfair to say that if someone has a fetish, then that's their only focal point.
It's an object. Now it's just an object. You become objectified. Like you became a trophy, just something I wanted to accomplish.
I don't think that has to be what it's limited to. Like my fetish could be the drawing attraction to a person to make me want to get to know them. Like, okay, I had, and this is a week, I don't even know if I call this a fetish, but this is a week when I had a thing for girls who play basketball. Oh man, loved it. Like, oh, I see a woman crossing somebody over like it. I'm like, oh, I need to get to know you better.
But because why though? Because she was athletic, because she was competitive, because she had.
I can't even tell you because even
basketball, it wasn't because she had a basketball in her hand. It wasn't like, oh, the bitch with a basketball. I got to give me some of that.
Like fetish I mean, maybe that's what qualifies it as a fetish because it really can't be explained. I don't think basketball girls have the best bodies. Best bodies is track girls, specifically sprinters, and you really want to know who got the best bodies.
Track and
Volleyball.
gymnastics.
I'm gonna say volleyball players.
Volleyball girls got the
Volleyball.
Hell, Lord have
Legs.
mercy.
Hey,
Yes.
I agree with you on that, Quentin.
Yes. So, but you know, so I mean, I didn't have a rhyme or reason to it. It was just a certain aura about it was a turn on that I couldn't I might not even have been like strongly attracted to. I'm like, oh, they cute, this and this, but I found out they got a mean crossover jump shot game and they can hold their own. I'm like, oof. I think I'm in love.
I think you run into problems when you that's like the draw of them, that like, oh, that's the catch, because once that fades or once that aesthetic or idea, you know, like I'm not going to play basketball for the rest of my life. So then what? Like,
right.
You know, so
have I lost your attention because now I'm not playing basketball anymore?
Right, and that's a question, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it don't have to. But it, you know, all fetishes are not created equal. Some people have extreme fetish, and depending on the type of fetish, then there's some fetish that requires action to go along with it. Like, you know, I had a guy who, I had a friend of mine talk about he liked licking armpits.
Oh,
Never heard of that in my life.
oh my.
Yeah, no.
That
Good on it.
that's
Good on it.
so what's the extremity of that
Oh goodness.
of that like, you know, that would be, that's the example of a fetish. But
how do you even realize that you like that? Like, you just happen to look up on an armpit one day and be like, oh shit.
You gotta try it.
Yeah, I guess you're looking everywhere, and that particular spot is turning you on. I don't know. The tickling. I don't know. That's weird.
That is a weird one.
The tickling. What's Stokely? What you got?
No, you said you had a friend that liked what?
Licking
heard him.
armpits.
You heard what he said. He said exactly what you thought he said.
Licking armpits.
Armpits.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't know how you start to even like that shit.
But you know,
So then I go back to what Dave Chappelle said in one of his stand-up. Like, hey, everybody F funny to somebody. So, you know, what's strange for me might be like, oh, hey, there's a lot of things that I like to lick that people would consider out of bounds too. So it's like, hey, so,
hey, you know
stuff that I like to lick ain't
I don't know. It's 2023. I think everything but armpits has been allowed at this point.
You know that little the spot right below the belly button, just right below the belly button. And I don't like real skinny girls, no way. But it's like a little plumpness right there. That's my spot. So if she got one of those, I like it.
That is so funny because you really have to be a very secure woman to let a man like really lay around with your belly.
You better let me just grab that.
Yeah, well, see,
pouch right there.
Women be tipping on some other things.
God. You really, but you know what? Kudos to men who make women, and this may sound stupid. We don't have to make women do anything. What the fuck ever. Kudos to men who make women still feel like that isn't a problem area. For most women, even whether we're big or we're not, like for most women, our stomach is usually like the part of our body where we're like, oh, right? But like to let alone have a man touch on it and love on it and kiss on it, like sometimes that's very uncomfortable, especially if you don't feel comfortable with that part of your body. So kudos to the men who love all the parts of a woman's body and don't let shit like that stop him from, girl, get over here. Like, I love all of you, you know?
Well,
like, I remember it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah. You know, like these, I tell my little nephew, he's 36. He don't like stretch marks. I'm like, dude.
Man.
He's too old for that bullshit.
Yeah, he's 36. Come on,
he
man.
ain't 20. He's too old for that.
Right. You done seen enough stretch, I'm sure. You know, and I tell him, better get it together.
You better get it, you better get yourself together, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Men to think like that, but
Stokely, who are you? Wilson today? What's going on?
Man, look, I done came upstairs and got in the bed. I don't need y'all seeing where the magic take place.
You know,
Look,
like
we got
Home
nose up.
Improvement.
We got
Wilson all
noses,
on the
eyes,
video.
and forehead. That's what we got.
Look, and I'm tired. It's been a long day.
Yeah, I understand.
You know,
What Cat Williams says, like a tiger. I like tigers. Give them stripes.
Right.
Just growl at you.
Yep.
What I've learned is a lot of things that women are insecure with, men love. Like they don't mind all that. And then we sit up there and stress and overthink these things. And like men don't care. You got a couple gray hair. Okay, girl, you all right. Like I don't mind that, you know?
Right.
So again, Tiara, what I was talking to you, Nikki, about, where is that coming from? My argument is everything that women claim they're doing for men is not entirely true. A lot of stuff y'all doing is to floss on other women.
Yes.
I would agree.
Oh, okay.
I would agree.
That argument over there.
It's sad, but yeah, because a lot of them are what we where we get our beauty tips from. We don't get it from men. You know,
I said that a while ago. Where are you getting it from?
If I want to know how to put on makeup, I get it from another woman. So quite naturally, now I'm looking to comparison. So a lot of
makeup and fashion,
you know, tips and stuff. You get it.
You going in a magazine? Who writing these magazines? Women and gay men.
I was gonna say gay men.
A lot of them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, so, and you're allowing women and gay men to tell you what's attractive to men that you're actually trying to attract. Like, does that make sense?
Right. Well, that's where the fuckery is, right? That's where all of this ruins it for women, image wise, because we're told one thing, we're shown one thing, we're supposed to then believe something else, and it's a clusterfuck of which way are we? How are we supposed to feel about ourselves? Like, we know we're supposed to feel good about ourselves, obviously, right? But like, that's not the message that the mass of society is instilling into girls and women. Is to accept our bodies and to love our bodies, and you know, and I've said this before on the show, like I've learned this as time has gone on, that men are very forgiving of women's bodies. But to the same point of the conversation we started this with, the BBL versus natural, yeah, men are super forgiving of women's bodies far more than women are, but are the masses still more attracted to, able to find sexual stimulation from the BBL versus, let's say, a woman that's natural of the same possible size, assuming there's preferentials, whatever involved. Like, so you can say one thing, but we still feel like the other happens.
And let me say one more thing too. In a likewise manner, I'm careful on how I manage my porn intake. Not just how much I watch, but what I watch.
Yeah.
There's certain things that's so graphic, like you don't want to, you'll kill out your dopamines watching too much or is watching certain things. You got to know how to manage that. But even in the likewise manner, I monitor. I don't do a lot on Instagram and watching all of these Instagram models and you know, these women looking like superheroes.
Right,
that's not realistic.
No.
And you don't want you got to be careful of the appetite you set for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And because if you don't watch it, then you'll find yourself having an appetite for something that's either not real or it's and I don't mean reals and BBL, but it's that's not your reality, and that's not even one. I said one time, I said the women that you fantasize about don't even look like that.
Correct.
Like you getting a 5-second clip of 20 minutes of footage, and they got the best
lighting and
shape of their face, and they walk a certain way that made them sweat. Like they put together a highlight reel in 5 seconds, and you grabbed your attention saying that's what I want, and that's not what actual people look like, walk like, feel like, or whatever you think they like, that it's not real. So you got to be careful of that.
I do believe capitalism, especially with the beauty industry, has, you know, they thrive off us needing them, you know, and so they push, you know, they push the envelope on what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And they have a lot of power. The beauty industry have so much power.
Hell yeah.
And it tells you, oh, you need to now. We'd have moved on from BBLs and things to that sort. Now women are injecting their faces with things like that. So,
but it's the same tier. It's the same industry that tells you that you need to do all those things, and at the same time, in the same breath, is the same industry that's tearing your ass down to
and these
make
people
you
don't
do
look like
these
it.
things.
The people that's making these decisions, that's saying you need to look like this, you need to do that, they don't look like that.
Right. Right.
So it's like it's such a.
But then they'll also tell you to take care of you, love on yourself, take care of yourself. Like
right.
It's just like the same thing.
Self-love is the same people.
It's like a pack of cigarettes telling you cigarettes is bad for you, but we still about to sell you these bad boys at the same time too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cigarettes cause cancer and malformation and babies and this and this and that. Here, $22.50. Go ahead, smoke that up.
$22.50, no shit, right?
But they know, and now that's, I don't even feel like getting into that, but that's what they know. It doesn't matter what you say periodically. They know as long as we keep pumping this into your brain, into your eyes enough, it don't matter what we say. You're going to do what the imagery tells you to do. And you're gonna keep, and let me give you one more example, then you jump into here. This new, which I hate, these are the biggest hypocrites I've ever seen in my life. And Stokely, you may notice this. Now, since all of this online gambling has become legal, the same people who was criticizing people for betting on games and betting on sports, on every single sports talk show, this and this, and they incorporate gambling or sports betting and gambling in every single show. Now they have it's a concerted effort to get everybody gambling. Now you got the commercials. We're gonna give you your first $100 free for your first bets and this and this and that. And then they put the little disclaimer in there. Well, make sure you bet responsibly. And if you got an issue, then dial this number, such and such. Like,
no, they don't get
you saying that, but you know people get addicted to it, and you're betting on them to do that, so that you can make this money. It's the most hypocritical thing. And not only that, 7 years ago, they was talking so bad about people and other players and people who did that type of stuff. And now you are the number one people who are promoting it, like hypocrites to the 10th degree.
Yep.
It's a funny place to just like I really want to go back to the 90s because one, the beauty standards were just, you know, you were lived in your skin, you were good. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't have to
go back to parts of the 90s. You know, we don't want to go back to
go
back to the crack 90s.
The music, the fashion. We weren't wearing high heels and tight clothes to high school. We wore our hair. Some of that music we like, we probably shouldn't have liked it either. We probably shouldn't have liked, but I'm talking about the R&B side, okay?
I got you.
But you know, like those times, and you know,
the rose-colored lenses right now.
Yeah, right. I'm over here thinking of the highlights of the era, not the low lights. But it was a different time. I think we held a different type of confidence. I feel like it's so many insecure people that we wear our emotions and everything on our sleeve. We're so easily triggered. It's just like, I think it's because we have all this access, where you can just look at and follow and watch people made up lives, you know, on the internet, when half that stuff is not true.
But not only that, cancel culture is killing everything. That goes back to the Black Mirror series that we remember Nosedive, Nikki? The Black Mirror series we talked about. And your credit score is based upon how likable you are.
Yep.
And it dictates where you can live, what airplane you can fly on, if you can get preferred seating, what type of rental car vehicle, all of that stuff.
Everything.
What type of job? Yes.
Yeah.
This is really
Yes.
that's really now. Like,
So the society is creating fake people.
Yeah, influencers are catered to now. Like, they're not even celebrities, but they're made to be celebrities now because they just have people that like and follow them. So now they're getting first class seats. They're getting brands to represent them. Like, it's a weird space.
It's a very weird space,
keep
but it's
saying-
preparing us for Black Mirror reality shit.
We got to do another Black Mirror series coming up.
You
It's
know,
some more
I'm
that I
super
want to
down
talk
for it. I love that. I was thinking about it yesterday, like, what are some of my most favorite conversations? And I think last week's The Inspiration one was still one of my favorite
was good,
conversations. I think I've watched that about 4 times since last week. But Black Mirror was the absolute best. It was just such a great way to dive into different parts of your brain. I love that. And a lot of people didn't like this last season, I guess.
I was not impressed with the last season. It was okay, but it wasn't. The concepts were not Black Mirror worthy.
And I can see why people say that. For somebody who didn't watch it die hard, like all 5 or 6 seasons, like,
no, it didn't.
I can see why people say that.
It didn't meet my standards for Black Mirror.
Yeah. About that. But I mean, how much more can they do? I mean, obviously the mind.
They set a high bar. They did set a high bar.
Yeah, it's a very high bar. Like, the shit that they did the first 4 seasons was like just jaw dropping. Like, who the
now?
fuck
Oh, now the first of the newest season, we do need to talk about that first episode. I don't know if you saw that, but everything
I did. I saw season 5.
That was the one with Selma Hayek, and everything the girl did, it got replayed in like movie form, and that's why everybody was finding out what she was doing. That's interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Because with so much AI happening, that's going to happen. Yes. It's happening. It's going to happen.
Yeah, AI is very scary.
I am not a fan. I never have been. I knew I never would be, and now that's actually for real here. I'm not excited about AI at all.
I don't know enough. I'm too ignorant. Like, I don't know enough about it to be scared of it yet.
Well, basically, it's a human. To a certain degree, it can think on its own. You got cars literally ordering parts and things. You got.
I was reading an article not long ago about AI and how they taught this robot, I'm sorry, to speak English, and it in 14 days or something like that had learned how to speak 3 other languages just by its memory, by its never being exposed to it, but the way that the I don't know if they're algorithms or the software was written, it took on a learning I don't even know how to explain it, but it learned 3 different other languages.
That's fucking scary, dude.
They call it the black hole of AI, though, because it's things that we just don't know how far this thing can go.
And we can't we haven't regulated. We don't know how to regulate it.
And they've already said some of this shit needs to be shut down. Like, some of the writers for some of the AI stuff have said, no, the cat's out the bag. We gotta stop. They're not stopping.
And here's another thing that they said about this robot. So they asked a robot about certain, news stories, and it would, without thinking, without a second, it would give a response to say, well, you can find this information on, like January 5th, 2002 or whatever. It's in the paper in the New York Times. And they would look that shit up and it would be, January 15th, 2002 in the New York Times.
Like, how the fuck do you know this? If this wasn't coded in your development, how do you know this?
That's the craziness of this. So that's what makes it so scary.
There was a movie Johnny Depp did called Transcendence, I think, where he put he included his mental capacity into this machine, and it just took off, where it really just started building its own city. It infected everybody that was around it. And so everybody became a machine itself. Almost like we are now. We're so connected with our technology. Who's the machine and who's the owner?
Right.
So as y'all was talking, I had a vision and I have a prediction, which I think a lot of my stuff is gonna come right. It's not only gonna be because we've seen all the movies, I, Robot, Terminator, all of this.
Yep.
But
Yep.
we look at it, we always villainize AI and villainize the robots. But what I see is the robots will actually save this planet. They're going to save the planet because we are currently killing the planet. And part of them saving the planet, the greater good of the planet, is getting rid of us, the virus that's turning around like in the Matrix. He said, you know what you are? You're a virus.
True.
You consume everything until there's nothing left in it. And that's what we are currently. We don't, since we love ourselves and we have hearts and souls and emotions, we don't view ourselves like that. But if you look from a distance objectively, we are destroying this planet. And the planet, we already know it won't survive, and we still continue to operate the way that we are. So AI, if they decide to take over, they're going to look at it as they're doing this earth a favor by getting rid of the virus, which are humans, and destroying it. I see that happening.
Now, you've seen the movie Leave the World Behind, and that was more Paris. It was more Paris type of kind of category, I would think. Different countries using stuff to, weaponizing technology and things to control us. But when you say that we are the virus, I have to refer back to COVID. Like literally, when we were in shelter in place orders, the earth was actually healing itself.
Yeah.
Like I think LA was like, you could actually see the blue skies, and water was getting clearer, and like,
animals. Yeah, animals they have seen, or animals being populated in places that there weren't animals before. They were just out rolling around and roaming.
But the love of money literally will not allow us to continue in healing the planet. We choose to destroy the planet for the sake of our temporary monetary gain versus what's actually right for the future of humanity. So I don't know how we got to the topic, but fine. Would AI be wrong if and when they decided to make the move on us to get rid of us? Would they actually be wrong for doing it?
We are seen as a threat. I mean,
no, we just cease to exist. And that's just what it is. We will eventually cease to exist. They're going to take over. We are toxic. We are viruses.
Like I said, we villainize the robots, but what they would actually be the righteous entity in the equation because they're doing something to help save the planet.
Ooh, yeah, we need to go back to the 90s. Shit, this shit complicated. Take me back to
hopefully what I say all the time. I said my one saving grace is I'll probably be dead before all of this really hit off.
Right.
Right. Well, when we say that, but humans are living longer. I'm a black man. Saying, no, seriously, they're saying that with AI help, they're building hearts and organs to keep people, not maybe the poor, but the rich,
right,
alive longer.
The rich will live a little longer, but before the technology get good for the common everyday person, I'll be out of there.
Yeah, and what's so crazy that we talk about biblical times and how Abraham, they lived for so many years and things like that, and people thought that was just like, yeah, right, like that it can't be true. But there's more people that are living to 100 and beyond. It's not a far to live 100, like people living to 90 was like wow, That was a thing. But there's a lot of people that are 100 years old and older. I think what's the peanut
Well,
man?
you know what, Tiara? I think it's so many people on the earth now that you gonna have more that get to live to 100.
But
But a lot
that
of people
gives us
catching cancer
50
and dying
more.
too.
But that gives us 50 more possible years of life that this shit
Well,
probably will happen within 50 years.
Gwen, that's like the way technology has advanced in the last, let's just say 20 from 2000.
Yeah, if they start cloning organs and like
here.
Like if you give a car a new engine, new transmission, like all right, it's time to re up your liver, kidneys, and heart, and we give you a new one. Then it's possible.
50 more years, that'll put me at 103. I don't even want to be here.
Yeah, I don't even think I want to be here either.
I'm
and then people get mad. People, Nikki and Tiara get mad at me because I'm dating a 40-year-old. You're 100 years old trying to date somebody 40 years.
With your old ass.
Literally, there's a guy that was like 100 years
leave that
old.
young girl alone.
He was a black guy that was like 100 years old. He was at a party and he was dancing, y'all. Like it was no big deal. It's like,
I saw that. I did see that.
Yeah, I was like, look, I'm telling you,
Wow.
we may be around. You think about from 2000 to now. From 2000 to now, how much technology have advanced. Now you put another 20 years on it. From
a black woman bodybuilder, she like in her 80s, and she fine.
Yeah.
I've seen her.
Yeah, I have too. I follow her on Instagram.
Yes. So I don't think it's hard to imagine that things can be really bad, and we can do some crazy things in 20 years.
Oh shit!
Because
I agree.
We didn't have.
Yeah, that's the thing. I really don't think I want to be around that long.
But you think about it. We didn't have iPhones. We didn't have a lot of this technology back in 2000.
We didn't have internet, and now we have internet. I mean, literally. So it ain't gonna take long for them to speed this process up. And if we've already seen movies about it, that means it's already happening.
I'm about to say it's already been built.
Exactly. This already in movies. They're just letting us know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you could, how long would you live if you got to choose? And be in, I ain't gonna say the best health, but at least you're in good mental health, meaning that your mind is still intact. Your body may be getting old and hurting, and your body break down, but you're still in good mental health. How old would you actually want to live to?
I think I would want to see 100. I think that would be like
what?
No, listen, like
yes.
To say that's a big thing. You've lived 100 years. Like somebody right now, you think about it, was born in 23. When is it 23 or am I 1903? Am I
1923. Yeah.
No, 1923. Yeah.
Look how what they've seen.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Everything.
Growing up in the Great Depression, everything is like completely. When you was a child, you would still see people going down Main Street on horses and carriages still back then. Like crazy.
No cars.
Literally 100 years ago, people are still alive, and I could just imagine what their mind is like. They probably think it's a sci-fi movie,
right?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They seen people get on the moon. They seen us go to the deepest trenches of the water, of the sea.
I don't know about that moon thing.
I know. I was like, well, you know
that moon thing looking a little shaky.
I don't believe it.
I don't take it as far as Nikki and Smack, but that moon thing looking a little shaky. Right?
But I don't think we went up there. I don't think that happened that day.
It's not that day. But you think of the vast amount of things you have seen in your lifetime.
Think about the number of presidents that the number of political leaders that they've seen assassinated. Think about you just living through the civil rights era, living through the Depression, living through.
I mean, they can literally say that they've lived through 9 presidents or 11 presidents or whatever it is. That's crazy. Right. When most people don't live through. When most presidents don't, most people don't live. In their lifetime, they may have 3, maybe 4 presidents.
Right.
And if you're over 100, you didn't live through World War One, World War II, the
Yeah.
Vietnam, Korean
Vietnam
War.
War, Gulf
I'm on my
War.
8th president right now.
You're on your
Ain't that
8th?
crazy?
Yeah, we're not fucking
Oh, that,
40.
yeah. I'm sorry.
We lived in when was you born? 79 or 80?
80,
Quentin.
80.
Okay, I had Reagan, I had Bush, Clinton,
Bush,
Obama,
Trump,
Biden.
and we'll have our whatever we're gonna have next.
Oh, that's 7. Hold on.
That's
7, yeah.
That's why I was like, wait, were you born in 79? I was like, well, you might have had.
Oh, I had got Carter in there real quick.
Yeah, I thought you had Carter.
Nah. Oh, okay. I missed one. All right, 7.
You just think of the clothes, the fashion, and think of how that transition from 1923 all the way up to now.
Think about here. I mean, we can obviously get into the race aspect of this, but think about just like our grandparents seeing literally, transgender people today. Like,
Wow.
that has to really fucking be an interesting thing for them to sit back and really dissect this idea that we are now calling people fluid. We are calling people non-binary. People can identify as whatever they want to, and they can change that whenever they want to. Like, that has to be an interesting dynamic when they sit back and dissect that.
Same gender, tongue kissing each other down on ABC.
On television, right.
Well, not just television, like mainstream network television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When back in the day, they couldn't even sleep in the same beds. Like I Love Lucy. And
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah. And like all of the sitcoms from there had 2 bedrooms, and every
2 beds, yeah.
master married couple's bedroom had 2 twins.
Right.
And then when they was getting, when they was pushing the envelope, they pushed the bitches together, and then the show would go off.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think living to 100, I think is a story in itself.
Hell
I think
yeah.
that's a beautiful story to sell. You get to see, guess how many generations of people that you have created, and you get to witness.
Right.
I didn't see too much, I guess.
I would in a certain time, but not in this time period. I don't think I want to. I can't say I'd want to live another
if you're in good health.
60s, 50s, but not just this. The way that society is going right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see what. I don't know if I want to be around for another 50.
But wait,
like,
can you imagine what those people were saying? The society going on in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. What?
Right.
It's not just technology and the freedom. I think with all of the advancements that's happening, there's still a retraction from social communication. Like, we don't know how to talk to each other anymore.
That's true.
And everything, like, think 20 years from now, if I don't say hi to Nikki with the right inflection, if I don't say it, like, she probably gonna be able to sue me.
So Quentin, what would be the age? What would be the age that you think you would be like, I'm cool bowing out?
I look at it from the standpoint of getting to see. So if being able to see maybe the birth of a great grandchild would probably be like, okay, that's good.
Nowadays, that's happening for folks that's in their 60s.
But for me, I didn't have my first child till I was almost 30.
Yeah, I know.
So by the time I was 29.
Wow. Okay.
When I had my first child. So I was say by the time if I'm 80, then he could be about 50. Maybe they could have a child that would be
18, 19,
25, 30.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, 50, they got 25, 30. And if 25, 30, if they have a child, then I'll be able to see my great grand. So like 80, probably 80 to 85 will probably be
good for you.
I'm cool with that.
Somebody phone?
That was me.
That's
Nikki, what would you
I've always wanted to live as long as I possibly can. I would be happy being 100. I'd be happy being 115. I'd be happy being 120. I would live as long as I possibly can.
Somewhere in the mid 80s for me would be good. I'm all right with that, you know, because I'm damn near there now. So, you know, I haven't seen a whole lot of shit in 53 years. And so as long as I get to see my daughters have kids and maybe some grandkids, if they, you know, I need these two girls. Well, no, I don't. I say that I want my daughter to have kids real quick, but I don't, because I've been had to choke the shit out of somebody at 53. Okay. So yeah, but think about it like this: like, okay, so we got Uber Eats now, we got everything. I mean, there's nothing for us to do. Everything is brought to us. Everything is, you know. I mean, you can order groceries on the phone. I mean, on your phone, and go pick them up, have them delivered. In 20 years, what's going to be going on? How is all this shit going to be happening then? In 20 years,
and not only that, in 20 years, we ain't gonna be able to go outside because it's gonna be global. It's gonna be so hot, you will not be able to go outside. Everybody will work inside.
That's true.
Right.
You probably gonna have to wear like space suits even to go outside just to protect your skin. Like, y'all, well, Tier, you wasn't out here. Listen, I've been in Texas for 20-something years now. These last 2 years
been hot.
It's gotten hotter.
Different hot. I was like,
I would
make fun of my kids and say, oh, man, y'all some, you know, y'all soft kids. Y'all don't even know how to be out in the heat, this and this and that. You know, like we'd be out all day. And you know, I tease them for these last 2 years. I'm like, no, we ain't going out. We might go to the pool in the shade, but that's it.
That's the only thing you can do in the summertime here.
It was so hot these last 2 years. I'm like, this is weird hot out here now.
It was not always like that. We had
it wasn't always like that. I adapted to Texas heat. And I'm like, these last 2 years, that ain't even that's something different.
But you know what's really strange is, you know, you kind of, I'm not saying that Texas is supposed to be extremely hot. I'm just saying you kind of expect Texas to be hot. What worries me is you notice that none of these northern states have had significant snow. When we were coming up, those states by now would have had a big snowstorm. Several of them by now. They're not even snow on. They'll not have snow for Christmas. We have to pay attention to that. And then,
so now,
you see my posts about my chemtrails every damn day. So
now I got another prediction.
Every day.
Now we're gonna have another northern migration. All these ghost towns in Detroit, people are gonna start moving back to Detroit because it's gonna be dangerously hot, you know, to the point where at the risk of skin cancer, let me move up and then the cost of living is gonna be cheap because they got all this open land in Detroit.
So I'm gonna say this right now, and I'll put this out there in the air. I read about this maybe 2 years ago. The next hot spot that's gonna be popping for making money, buying houses, and living a good life is Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana is a ghost town right now. But you can get a whole house, a whole 4-bedroom house for about $65,000 right now.
And you can
dirt cheap. 45 minutes away from Chicago.
They were the fucking murder capital of the world, though, forever, though.
But that's okay. They ain't nobody there to murder no more.
But
so people vacated Gary like that?
They just up and gone. It used to be a moneymaker because car parts were made there.
Right.
It used to be, I mean, you know, it used to be a moneymaker. So people that worked in the plants and the factories, they were doing good. You know, you think in the
crime always somewhere is lack of jobs.
Exactly.
Yeah, you bring jobs back, then you up the level of standard of living and housing and things like that. Then the crime moves. Crime will move to where poverty is. But you remove the poverty from that, then the crime goes along with it.
Did you guys see that Austin was voted for in 2023 the most affordable city in the nation?
Yeah, I saw that bullshit ass.
Lying.
Like, what is that, y'all? Y'all
fucking lie.
They said you guys are more affordable.
That's crazy.
Than California and New York. Oh, congratulations.
Right. When you compare us to them, yeah, we are, but we are absolutely not. Like I posted about that this morning. I was like, the number of people who are being priced out of this city, if you do not have a 2-income household, it's real tough to be here. It is very fucking tough to be here. Like, you can't be a single parent here. You can't be a poor person here. You can't be a fucking low income person here. You can't be a student here. You can't be a first timer here. You're not finna get no first time home buyer here. Like, you can't get a house under probably $300,000, and that might be 1,000 square foot house. Like, and I get it, right? Like, obviously things change as, you know, time goes on, and
there's
blah, blah,
no
blah,
such
blah, blah,
thing
but
as a house under 300,000.
Damn.
At all.
Really?
No.
Not at all. Not even close. And
I
was home searching for the last year and a half, and there's no such thing.
But what's so crazy when I see these videos on social media, they'll say, like, you know, Houston, suburbs of Houston, they're like, you know, cost free. I said, where are these places? And I think they're close to the border.
Houston a little bit better than Austin.
Really?
Yeah, Houston.
If you go to the outskirts of Houston, you can find some better.
You got 6 million more people in Houston, though, than there is in like the Central Texas area. So you just got way more space spread out over Houston and the surrounding suburbs of Houston, to where you can still get some affordable places. But people in Houston will tell you that shit's going up just like it is here too. So I mean, we know it's going everywhere. But there's literally not within an hour of our area code a place that you can fucking live that's going to be considered affordable. Nowhere within an hour of our area code.
Quick
I
question.
saw my parents.
Go ahead, Stokely.
I saw my parents downsize when, you know, everybody in the house that we grew up in Austin was gone to college and on our way. And 8 years ago, my parents had a new house built for $260,000. And just now on Zillow, that house is worth $806,000 in 8 years. Yes, 806, and that's, you know, that's far south, Buda area, Cherry Creek area, but you know,
and that used to be in the sticks back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah, if you went back in the day, if you went to Round Rock, you was out of town.
I mean, look, Stokely, when me and baby daddy got approved to build our first house out here in Round Rock, I fucking cried. I was happy, but I cried because I was like,
we're so far away.
He's so far from everything. You know, I remember when Ben White was 4 lanes, 2 going east and 2 going west.
Right.
And I remember it was like that too. When you would get to Lakeline, right over there, Lakeline.
Yeah, 183. 183.
It wasn't no highway going through. It was a light. You would get stuck in that light for about 20 minutes waiting to get through that light.
That's crazy.
By the time you got north of Palmer, it was starting to get like we out there now. Just passing Palmer, you get out there.
It's real weedy up that way. Yep. Now it's exactly. Our the first house that we built was like literally it's across the road from me. Like it's like I don't know. It's like I drive there probably about 2 minutes. It's right across the street. And it was a brand new house that we built it from ground up, and it was like 2,200 square feet. We were 23 years old. This was 2002. And it was like $169 for this house. During the time of COVID and, you know, getting money from my dad and trying to buy a house for me and the kids and realizing that's not going to fucking happen in Austin, Texas. Like looking at house properties and shit like that. I looked at our house just to see what it was valued at because we knew what we sold his house for. Same fucking house that we paid like $169 for, that shit was on sale for $430.
Whoa.
And we were just like, in a matter of 20 years, $300,000 increase. Like, you cannot start over here. Most everybody has got a child living with them that's an adult. Most parents have their adult child living with them today. Like,
we got one, and she's about to get the hell about you.
What you say?
I said, we got one of them. She about to get the hell about you.
I got another question for you, Texas people, because you guys are big in the news, I believe. What do you guys think about the surge of immigrants? Do you have an opinion on that?
I do.
Y'all go ahead.
Where do you lean? Do you lean more on a Republican type of views or more on
I'm somewhere in the middle, in all honesty. I'm kind of in the middle. I think you just can't let everybody just come running up through here. But I think there is a way there's a humane way that things should be handled. And what
let me ask you this.
Trump admitted, it's not humane the way that they're doing it.
Do you think that people are just really running up in here like that, though? I mean, I'm not saying that nobody gets through. I'm not saying that. But I don't think it's as big as they're putting it out there to be, as far as people running up in here like that. And I also say this. They say Send them all back to Mexico. Send them all back. We don't need them here. They say those things, but the reality of it is this: Florida can't keep people there because of the laws in Florida.
Yeah.
You got vegetables and shit dying on the vine. Who,
Yeah.
you know, I know me. I'm not fixing to go out there and build no bridge and no roads and in that heat and them homes. I'm not going to do it. These are people that are willing to do it. These are people that are willing to, if you pay them the money, they're going to go ahead and do it. And if that doesn't happen, who's going to do all those things?
Yeah, no, and again, so it's not that I think that we should exclude them from being able to come in. We should just have a better and a smoother process in allowing them to come in. Like the way we treat Mexicans is not the way we treat certain other countries from getting in here. So it just there's a way that you need to manage it, but there's a much better way that we can manage it than we are.
The northern border.
Is there a limit? Like, do you think so? If they're saying it's like a surge, they saying right now they stopped 13,000 people. It's 5,000 just sitting there waiting to come over. Is there a limit? Or you feel like it should just be a no holds barred type of situation?
No, I think you should. I think you should, because you don't want this sound like a good part two. If I was president, we need to do another.
We can do a part two.
Part two if I was president. But there's a way that you don't want just. You want it to go in a way that is stable for the economy. You don't want something to flood into the place to where it creates a improper imbalance in the economy. Right. So I think there's a certain amount of people that you should let in, and then it could be documented. And then also, what people don't realize, the things that made America prosper and rich, number one was war. We made a lot of money off of those world wars, which the first one we wasn't too involved. We made so much money making parts and supplies and ships for the warring countries. It made us rich. And then even the Second World War, we didn't get into that until later, until we got bombed and was kind of forced to get in. But we were just making money off of, providing England and other things, supplies with that. That's what we were making money. So we made money off of that. But the other thing is, I think in the Eisenhower days, when they redid, it might have been Eisenhower before Eisenhower, they redid the infrastructure. So the government, instead of sending all these trillions of dollars for war and meddling in other people's affairs, and you can take that money, put it back into our economy. We got bad roads. We can redo our infrastructure. We have so much untapped land that we can really start cultivating and creating. There's plenty of land in America, and most of it is unmanaged land. You can use that to create jobs and actually build an economy, build more jobs, and you can actually advance the way that some of these other like places in China and Japan, like their cities look so much more advanced than ours because we're not keeping our stuff up.
Yeah, high speed rail.
Well, you made a good point. When you think about it, we import everything that we have. We don't export. The only thing we export is parts for war, bullets.
Yeah.
We build tanks. We build shit for war. That's the only thing that we export in this country. When we bring everything else in from China, we don't export anything realistically.
Nope.
So that's where our money's made. That's why war.
We have to manage capitalism, because America is not rich with natural resources.
No.
So we are reliant on other countries when it comes to certain natural resources in order to be able to trade. And if we allow companies, that's where the Cold War came from. If a lot of countries went communist and is controlled by dictators and not free enterprise, then that limits our ability to be able to trade with them. And if we can't do that, then we got tobacco and corn. Like we don't have a lot of desirable natural elements in the land. But now that if that's, if you manage that threat, and it's not the same threat that it was from the the 50s to the 80s, then we can focus on what we're doing back here. And we do, like you said, Stokely, need manpower to do these things.
True.
You just got to do it the right way and make sure that we're funneling our money where it needs to go correctly.
Well, and I think that if we lived in a border city, we may even have a different perspective, right? Because we're not down there. We don't live down there.
True.
You know, and if you know
Right,
somebody
that's
who
true.
lives in
It
the,
is true.
if you know somebody who lives like I can say how I feel about, you know, immigration right now because I live in Austin, Texas. To me, we've got plenty of space, right? Like it's not a threat to me in my life that I feel for there to be 30,000 people coming across the border illegally. Like that,
Right.
I mean, doesn't threaten me because I don't give a fuck about the taxes, right? Like if the goal is to if the goal is to generate the money, then let these motherfuckers get their citizenship fucking immediately once they pass their test,
Right.
get their citizenship, and be, you know, contributing members to the tax-paying society. Of course, they're paying taxes on every single purchase that they purchase in this country, but, you know, let them be able to collect their fucking check legally and let them be able to pay taxes. If that's what you really want to do, is get the tax
That's not
money
what they
from
really
them.
want to do, though. That's
Well,
not what
But they
the
need,
country
yeah,
really
they need to.
Of course. Well, of course, it's what they need to. But, you know, I just read something on one of my little local groups that I'm in yesterday, and it was somebody who just moved here from Ukraine. And as I'm reading it, I'm trying to not like have this attitude about the fact that they're here because I'm trying to not do that, right? But like as I'm reading this fucking message, it's like, oh yeah, me and my family just moved here from Ukraine a couple months ago. Woo, woo, woo. Like we've basically done everything you can possibly do. He's like, we've got our social, we've got our documents, we've got our driver's license, we've got our this, we've got our like, so they've done everything they can do, and they're looking for a car. And I was like, damn, I wonder how many Mexicans don't even get that fucking opportunity to have a driver's license yet, or a social security yet, or a job yet, or like, so it's just interesting, right, that these white folks happen to come over from Ukraine and got citizenship or temporary real fucking quick. But let it be a brown skinned person coming from below Texas, and it may take you 10 goddamn years to get citizenship. Who the fuck's gonna wait 10 years? The laws keep changing, so on and so forth. Like, so, I mean, I think that we can have a perspective, but I also think we have to be mindful of the fact that we are not living on the border. And if we have 13,000 people coming into our backyard on a weekly basis, I think that your feelings might feel a little bit like we got to fucking do something.
Right.
You know, and then of course you see the videos, and I try not to get too wrapped up in the propaganda because I know that, you know, the conservative part of America is certainly trying to push this image that all these brown people coming from the South are men, and there's no children, and there's no women, and they're going to be sleeper cells, and they're getting paid $5,000 and da 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 da.
Out of white folks.
Do what?
They are scaring the shit out of white folks.
Again, so I try not to get wrapped into that because I don't know how much of that is, you know, agenda, but I also don't know how much of that's actually true. Is this true? Is this true? Are they paying folks to come up here? I mean, if people are coming in thousands and thousands and thousands a day, there's got to be some incentive to come here. Is there being some incentivization to come to this country other than just getting here and calling it a safe place? Yes, there's incentives. You're being housed, you're being fed, you're being taken care of, which you should be because you're a human.
And not just that, because you're also there. So what I knew a lot of people. I used to manage a lawn care company, and I knew the owner very well. The owner would be very upset because even with the contracts that we had, we would constantly get underbid. Some Mexicans just come around, didn't have to pay tax, this and that, and so then we had to keep lowering our prices in order to compete with
in the market
who's just out here doing it. So that was that. And then we also had a couple Mexican guys who worked for us, and a lot of that they would they'd work, they get money, and they'd send half of their money back to Mexico. Yeah. Because the dollar stretches so much further over there than it does here. And they was just working just to send their money back. And so their family back home was living well off of the money that they got. So what we're scraping off of pennies, like, man, how do we live off of this? Well, them taking that money back over there, they family living well.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
One of the things I also think about it when I think about immigration and people coming here, and I don't care where you come from. If you're not from here, obviously, and you come here, then you're immigrant. That's cool. I don't care which direction you come from, whether it's Mexico or over there, whatever, right? But I also feel like a part of this, and I've said this for years, I feel like a part of, they call the mass, immigration, right? This is America's karma. This is what we have. This is what we have coming to us. We have no fucking position to sit here and tell another person they can't come here.
Exactly.
This is what we did. We did a part of this, you know. So I don't have any problem with people coming here. Leave me be. I'm gonna let you be, or let's live as a community together. Like I'm okay with that. I'm not afraid of the white race fucking going away at some point one day. That's not my fear, right?
They say in the next 30 years.
What'd you say?
They say that in the next 30 years, everybody will be brown.
I mean, you can't argue with that.
Look like Drake. Everybody look like Drake.
Can't argue with that. But I do think that there does need to be a better way to do it. Did you guys see that? And I think this just kind of went out today, that Governor Abbott has made it. Stokely, help me out here. You might know. Governor Abbott did something to where he basically said, we don't have to wait for the federal government to deport people anymore. We're doing it on a state level. So now Texas says, if you gotta go, you gotta fucking go. They're not waiting for they're not waiting for ICE to get involved.
Right. Now the federal government's suing the state of Texas and Abbott over that, which is unconstitutional. So with that being said, just wait for the other shoe to drop. We got to see what this motherfucker. What's going to happen?
But on the surface, I think that's better, though. I mean, you better off sending people back than sitting up there holding them in a cell for God knows how long without the same due process we get. Yeah,
yeah. So, Nikki, you brought up Ukraine, the people that, and I spent time up in Canada. Some years back, and there were so many people from other countries in the United States illegally. I mean, even from as far as Ireland, you had people that were in here in the United States from Ireland that had been here 10, 15 years and weren't citizens. But the country wasn't bitching and moaning about sending them back to Ireland.
Never.
You know, they just fit right in. They just came right in and kind of just melted into, you know, YT America.
White skin immigrants. White skin immigrants are okay. Exactly. Brown skin immigrants are not okay here. No, it's too many. No, it's too many. No, it's too many.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever watch Orange is the New Black?
No.
The first 2 seasons.
Oh, okay. The last season they had one of the girls got out of prison, one of the Mexican girls, and the one that was acting kind of crazy. They said she stank all the time, whatever. It so happened she didn't have her stuff, and she ended up getting put in one of those camps. And it just highlighted like what was really going on in them camps, and like you don't have whatever. Even in prison, there's certain rights that you have as an American, and you don't have any of those rights there. And it's like you just stuck. Like it's a bad situation. Like when I was like, man, it's inhuman. It's nothing that should ever go on in what we call a modern free country. Is bad.
Yeah. And I think the way that they're being treated is shit. I think the way that they're spreading them, they're trafficking people, right? I get it. You entered into the country illegally. Okay. 2 rights don't make a month. 2 wrongs don't make a right. You know what I'm saying? But they're taking these buses and these fucking airplanes, and they're just putting them on there, telling them, okay, well, we're going to do X, Y, Z, get on the plane, get on the bus, and then they just go drop them in another city. So now you've got this whole shit happening in New York City, where you've got the community up in fucking arms because they're closing down community centers and they're housing immigrants exclusively. So they're closing retirement centers, and of course they're like state funded retirement places or state funding living places for elderly people and low income people. So they're closing these places where people have lived for fucking ever to rebrand them as, you know, housing facilities essentially for these immigrant folks who are coming in from Texas, basically. And so they're causing contention and they're causing issues amongst citizens and immigrants in places where I don't even really know if there's actually an argument to be had between the two, but they're putting people in communities where they're already taxed and struggling and there aren't enough resources, and then they're taking the resources from the already there existing residents and they're giving them to people who just got here.
So what that does in turn is
go ahead, Stokely.
What that does in turn is make people hate the brown skinned people that are being brought in, taking their space up even more. And so when you build that kind of consternation against people that most people in America don't have the time to even learn about their culture or who they are or what they're really about. It just develops hatred.
Yep.
So here we are.
Yep.
Welcome to America.
And then the core of me always has to remember this, because I've been in Texas since I was 8. So this has obviously always been a conversation for my whole entire life, right? But you have to go back and think of how bad it must be for these folks to travel on foot with a bag and a kid and a fucking prayer in hope that they can make it to this place that they don't know anybody, that they have nothing promised to them, but this has got to be better than where I'm coming from. Like, I mean, they're
we
called
have
refugees.
no humanity when it comes to that. Like,
they're called refugees for a reason. Why don't we continue to call them refugees? Why are immigrants, refugees, whatever? But they're seeking refuge. Like, I don't know. So the heart of me does not mind if you feel like you need to be somewhere safer, right? Like, but there has to be a better streamlined way for this to be beneficial for all parties involved. Because most folks who are here illegally don't want to fucking be here illegally either. They like to get their documentation, but it's too costly and it takes too long. And then there's fear of being picked up and fear of being deported and fear of, being threatened that you got to show your papers and shit. People don't trust white people. So you just don't know which direction you're supposed to go.
Right. We preach to be a great country, but like Keith just said, I mean, we lack humanity.
Agree.
And empathy. But the humanity side of it is, just a few weeks ago, they had people that were crossing the desert to get here from Mexico, and just the real rough terrain and all. So there was a group of people that had put these jugs of water out.
I saw that.
Did you see it? In the border patrol came by and were cutting holes in the jugs and getting them out.
Yeah,
that's insane to me. So the humanity here of this country is just ridiculous. You can't even call it humanity.
You get these people to stop migrating, help them fix their countries.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a reason them traveling over here, because their countries are at war. They don't have jobs. They don't have healthcare systems. Help those countries.
We ain't got healthcare.
We play a part in that.
It's like, but then
we'll
when
give
is the
billions
conversation?
of dollars to some of these other countries far, far away, and don't give that same help to our neighbors next door.
And that literally the money you're sending to Israel, millions of dollars you're sending over there, you literally could send it right down to the South America, Central America, and we wouldn't have this problem. People don't want to leave their country.
Right.
People are prideful about their heritage.
Right.
Why they bring it with them.
Right.
But I think we look at immigration in such a distorted way. Like, I don't understand why we don't get that. Like, people are coming here because they want to prosper. Obviously, their country, they can't prosper. So help them do that. We have been in the business of nation building for forever. That's what we've been doing. We've been taking over countries. A lot of the problems that these countries are facing is because of us, because we wanted to go with the drug wars.
Yep. So we supplied guns and drugs for these
wars, and then we abandoned them. And look what happened.
Yep.
So, it's just weird. I've seen that Abbott had made that law, and it looks like a stop and frisk what they're going to start doing. I don't see how you guys how he keeps getting into office.
Because we are red ass Texas. White people love him. And people who don't like Mexicans love him. People who don't like black people love him. People who don't like gay people love him. People who err on the side of the oppressed or love him.
He's just doing this out of nowhere. He knows he has a backing behind what he's doing. And that's why he's doing it, because that's what these red people want.
Yep. And I will give him credit. There's a few things he does do that I do agree with. The canceling mandates of the state and allowing like vaccine exemptions for children. Like, that's why a lot of people moved to Texas, because we didn't have those stipulations on our bodies and on our children that a lot of other states do have. But outside of that, that motherfucking man doesn't do anything for anybody that's not going to benefit him at the end of the day. And it's only going to come in the form of a very, very, very large check. Texas has got some of the most crookedest fucking politicians running this show. It's when I read that today that he was like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and do this on a state level, fuck the federal level. I was like, wow, this dude. But he has it out for Biden too. Like he wants to always show Biden out. So it's like,
man,
which isn't hard to do, but
can we do our country a favor and not try to reelect that and just let Joe go to sleep? He just looks so tired. They got him propped up like the Walking Dead. Like he need to be somewhere in the rocking chair. He can't remember his words. He don't remember what he's saying. He be
that man stealing so much of our goddamn money. That man is laundering money on every minute of the day.
Listen,
you talk about he's past the age that I said I want to leave.
He's like, if that's what it looks like, I don't want that. Little one, no parts of Sleepy Joe.
I find it funny that they make it in the Constitution you have to be 35 years old to be president, but they have no age limit.
Right. There's age minimum, but there's no age maximum.
Like,
because once you're in, they want you to stay in. If there's a way that we can keep you in, we're gonna keep you in.
No, let that man go to sleep. They gotta prop him up there. I feel sorry for the man. He needs to just be going somewhere and relax.
I'm 40 years old and I'm tired. So he twice our age.
And they got him out there riding bikes and stuff. Of course he gonna fall off the bike. He 80 years old. Come on. I'm trying to walk up and down airplane stairs. Ain't nobody but the president got to walk up this long flight of stairs trying to act like we know how old he is. Just let him put the thing so he could just walk across there like normal people do.
The little escalator.
I don't even know who the Democrats would even have. Like, it's nobody that excites me.
Y'all
know Trump gonna get a job again. I know Stokely didn't.
That's why they're trying to.
Logged off, but y'all know Trump gonna get a job back.
They're trying to charge him so bad so he don't have a chance to. That's why.
Look, Colorado just said he's not even a viable fucking candidate.
Yep,
they're trying hard, and all you doing is you gonna make. They're gonna rile up even harder because y'all trying to. Like anything that you do, you need to do it fair. When you start trying to manipulate people, then they push back on it.
And they're going to use this to their advantage. Trust and believe. Now Stace is going to say Joe Biden is not. Find some loophole for him to go in. My thing is, why do we have these old men trying to run the country? Where is the youth? Like,
we don't vote for them.
That's true.
And on top of that, number one win because they was in the primaries. There was plenty of young people in the primaries, but they didn't. We chose Biden and Trump over all of the other younger potential people. And you have to realize, on top of that, we have a large population of baby boomers who are in that age range right now.
And they vote.
Yes, and they do. Yep.
Right. They're dutiful.
Yep.
And y'all, this is going to be so tragic. Either way, we just going to be fucked. Like.
Yep.
I agree. I agree.
Well, see who Trump is going to have as his VP because
that's funny just hearing it.
And just the fact that he's even a fucking viable candidate to me still just blows my ever. Like nowhere else can you have 91 felonies and still get a fucking job. Like you just can't.
When you go up against
that's white privilege at its
so that's how you know he's going to get the job again. I mean, unless we're at war and Biden's voted out, Trump's coming back.
He knows what he's talking about with his crazy self. Like when you look at him and you look at Biden, so the only thing that people really have trust in is that Biden is not actually running the country. He's just the face right now, and they use
right. I mean, none of them.
If you listen to him right now, you like this.
Not making the decisions.
No.
Yeah, they probably let him sleep.
I mean, the president is just the mouthpiece for the decision makers, so it doesn't really matter who he put in the house.
Trump ain't just a mouthpiece. Trump said, "I'm taking charge."
But he is though. He's their mouthpiece. I mean, he has his own mouth, but he's their mouthpiece. He doesn't get to move freely the way that we think the presidents do.
Any way he can. I think he tripled all the vetoes of anybody else. Like He put in more the presidential vetoes, the executive orders. He like, any way I can do this, then I'm gonna do it. I ain't paying attention to either side.
Yeah.
He was not looking for bipartisan participation at all.
He didn't care about his own party. He
Exactly.
That's one thing that I really respect him about, because I was like, yo, he could care less if you got a D or R. He will call you out equally. You know.
He's not a very good person.
I think he might try to choose this VP, that Vivek guy, because I think there's somewhat.
Oh God, he's so fucking annoying.
He is, but I feel like he's similar. I think
I don't
Trump
follow politics enough to know about this.
Oh, I watched.
Trump doesn't like brown people. He's not gonna let a brown dude be his vice president.
If he can control him, he would. If it's gonna get him what he wants, he's a token
Maybe.
player. If he can get me what I want.
I mean, they're going to give us. They're going to give us who they want us to have. We're not voting a fucking thing in. They're going to decide who's going to be our illusion commander in chief, and that's who we're going to get. You know, so until we decide to completely get out of this shit show that is the illusion of voting, we're going to keep having this conversation of who's going to do a better job and who's not going to do a better job. At the end of the day, they're just a mouthpiece. Until we really, really, really decide to buck the system in a couple different ways, this shit's not going to stop. This is going to keep going.
No, not at all. Like Stokely, I quote Stokely so often. Humans are a raggedy species.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, we're almost at 3 hours. Did we get it all out?
So much for another short show.
Right.
I'm so tired.
Are we doing next Tuesday or what? Because it's the day after
next
Christmas.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah. We can do next Tuesday. I ain't got no.
We
I ain't got no
was
plans.
gonna do something. Didn't we say we had an idea?
We do. We have an idea. Image is image costly? Is image being an act? Is it costly? So the cost of image.
Okay.
Physical, spiritual, emotional, all the above. You know. So that's at least the direction we're going to go towards. So please come back and join us next week, team.
Yeah, I try to get here a little earlier. You know,
we talked about you last week. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to last week's show, but we talked about you last week.
No, I didn't have to check it out, but yeah, I'll be definitely on a little earlier next time.
If you get on later, if you get on at 1:28, we're stopping at 1:30. So you got 2 minutes.
I got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Hard stop.
That's all I got. Well, I don't know if you celebrate it, but if you do, happy holiday, Christmas, whatever you do.
Yes.
Since I won't see you guys before they're, talk to you.
Yes, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, all them good Diwalis and all them good things. Absolutely. Y'all be careful. Love your families, make memories. Don't be too hard on yourself. If you don't get the shit under your tree that you want to, like, it's about memories, man. We don't know how many more Christmases we got left. So I'm just going to try to enjoy this one with my kids and,
living 100, Nikki.
Yeah, spending and having a good fucking time, not having to go to work that day.
Dear Stokely, it was a meme that I saw. I'm gonna have to send it to y'all. I don't know what you gonna call it, but they was like when she asked you what you getting her for Christmas, and then they had the 5 heartbeats singing, "I got nothing but love for you, baby."
It's a good gift. You can give love for a gift.
So that's
you
all
can
I
give
got.
love. You can give love for a gift. But that's it. So much shit. Dear, thanks for joining us, Stokely, in and out. But thanks for joining us. It's been a minute since we had y'all.
For sure.
Going on.
Good night.
See y'all.